And there we go. We should be good. Start a poll. Who wins? We've got Orlando. We got DC. I forgot which game. Oh, this is the one that's in Orlando. Okay. So put that up. Go over here. Post that there. I need to post my game picks. That not post. There we go. Okay. My 2026 UFL Week 9 game picks. Go to there. Where is it? Oh, I need to. Okay, game 4 and 2. Post that, and that's posted. Instagram. Gotta post those on there now, and then we should be good. I didn't post my power rankings this week. That's annoying. I think it's the second time I've done this year. Maybe one day I'll remember. Maybe one day I'll actually remember to do that. Flip those around. There we go. Control V, week 9, and share. Come on, share. Dude, Instagram, man. It always takes the longest. Instagram's always the longest. I don't know why. Instagram always takes forever to share stuff compared to everything else. Should be good there. Oh, yeah. Game 1, what was that? That was awful. Hey, congratulations, Jace. Big W. Nice to see you, Handy Rock. Yeah, yesterday was, not good. Yesterday was rough. Yesterday was a rough day, that's for sure. That was an awful game to watch. Oh, man. Like, I hope it's rust. I don't know. I put it out on Twitter. That loss mainly falls on Rod. Team should have been prepared. They were not prepared whatsoever, so I'm hoping it was rust. We'll see what happens in game 2 in a couple days. It's Saturday night's game 2. Hopefully we bounce back and win that game, because if we go down 0-2, we're probably going to lose another Eastern Conference final. It's just kind of that simple. I don't see it. If we're down 0-2, we're not coming back and winning that series playing 3 games in Montreal. I mean, it's crazy. It looked like it was going to be this collision between the Avalanche and the Hurricanes. And again, we have to see what happens tonight and tomorrow, but it's very possible that we end up getting the complete opposite and have Vegas versus Montreal. I mean, Vegas thoroughly dominated Colorado last night. Even if they had Makar, they wouldn't have won last night. Same way with the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes, I don't even know if it's just rust. We just got fully outplayed. Again, we'll see what happens tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. It ain't looking good. We thought it was going to be 2 big games, and instead, it might be Montreal-Vegas. Again, we don't want to overreact after 1 game for each series, but man, if you would have said that like Vegas and Montreal would both win by multiple goals, not even including empty net goals, just genuine multi-goal wins, nobody will believe you. Yeah, I was going to do the dictator Mbappe. I had another image plan, but I mean, I had to. This is probably in the top 5 most surprising, shocking, whatever you want to say, deaths in literal sports history, because he just won a race like 6 days ago. Like, he just won in Dover in the truck series, if I remember correctly. And it's just crazy to think how fast it happened from there until what happened yesterday. I mean, I literally was watching PTI, and then as soon as it ended, the very first thing SportsCenter showed was Kyle Busch, and I couldn't believe it. Like, for a second, I thought they were talking about Kurt, which, again, would still be shocking, but not to this level of what the actual hell. So, I mean, that was terrible. That was terrible to see for sure yesterday. That was awful news. That was actually that was tough to hear. I mean, the toughest that's the toughest since Bray Wyatt when he passed away. This is definitely tough, and this is tougher than even that one was, and that one was tough. This one is like the only one. This is the closest. This is the one that's the closest to that one, but even worse than that because he was still active at this level. It's crazy. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, this is a rough one to see, but I mean, the one thing is, and it's always the worst part. Like people talk, like Ted Turner, right? When Ted Turner passed away, you had all these people talking about how great a guy he was to everybody. How he was like, for how much wealth he had, he was such a normal, down to earth guy. And it is true, right? It sucks that you have to wait for you to die for people to talk about you like this. But a lot of people are realizing now just how good Kyle Busch is. There is a very valid argument he is one of the 5 greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. You've got your big 3, obviously Petty, Earnhardt, and Jimmy. And then after that, there's a good argument he's number 4. If you include the truck and the Xfinity Series, he is the all-time winner in NASCAR history. In fact, he has the most overall wins in both the Truck and Xfinity series, and I believe he's like ninth or eighth in the Cup series. He's got 3 total titles, two in the Cup series, one in Xfinity. I mean, the dude has won a race in like 19 straight years in the Cup series, which is insane. I mean, like there's a good argument he is like the fourth or fifth greatest driver ever. At worst is probably like sixth or probably sixth is the worst you could really put him at. You got like Stewart, um, Gordon, like maybe Larson or Hamlin, Logano at some point, but right now no. It's just yeah, he's done up there. Yeah, I mean it's true. It's one of those things that just really sucks. Where it's always once a person passes away is when you finally hear all those people talk about it, right? And it's the one thing that does suck because like Bush was not getting the due credit he should have gotten over the last like few years. And then now he's passed away, people are realizing, after the fact that like he really was that guy. Like that this was one of the greatest overall drivers of all time. When you consider the fact that he won at all 3 levels of NASCAR, like the main 3 so consistently, I mean, damn, bro. He's up there as one of the greatest just drivers in general. I mean, he's probably a top 10 overall driver if you include things like F1, IndyCar, and all that. He's definitely probably top 10 just because of how good he was at all 3 levels. Crazy. The one thing I will counter to that is that's exactly why they shouldn't. Because if they scheduled earlier, instead of this game being a regular season Friday game, this would be like the conference championship going headed against it. That's what I've always said, right? If you start the season right after the Super Bowl, which you have to do like the week after President's Day weekend, because that's when the NFL is going to eventually do it, you're only actually going back by like 3 or 4 weeks to where you're still going against these big conference final matchups, and it's harder to schedule against them. Because like you'd still go against it, and at the end of the day, to the average fan, like the person that would watch the NBA over this game is still gonna watch the NBA over this game, even if this was the championship. And so that's why I've said that this is honestly decent, because then the title game is easy to schedule around everything else, because then you have the 2 finals where they are going against each other, and there's only 2 series, whereas right now there's 4 going on between the NBA and NHL. Because if you start the season earlier, you go against more March Madness, more golf, and then you still go against all the big things at the end anyway. That's the one thing that sucks about it, is even if you start as early as possible, which is like the weekend after President's Day weekend, you still go against all these big heavy hitters, but you miss out on the easy to schedule around finals. Louisville fan. Yeah, the playoff stuff is whack. I can't believe Birmingham can even clinch this week. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Because I mean, like Birmingham can clinch, Dallas is gonna get eliminated. They're gonna get eliminated this week, but DC can clinch. St. Louis. I mean, we could have. I don't think all 4 can clinch, but yeah, dude, that was crazy. Seeing 50 Cent is actually doing that. That's gonna be cool. Gonna see 50 Cent live because, like I told you guys, I'm already going there to the championship this year. I said if it was in DC, I was gonna go. I get to see 50 Cent. That's pretty cool, bro. He literally, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he performed at the halftime show. He was like the guest, like the shock appearance in the rap halftime show, right? Like when you had, what was it? I'm literally blanking on all their names, but you know what I'm talking about. When you had like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and all them, like he was there. So this is a guy that actually performed at a Super Bowl halftime show, is performing for a UFL halftime show, which is just crazy. I can't wait for that. Subsector. Oh no, Bad Bunny. They were just saying that. Are we really? Oh, it's literally covering the bottom. What format saying with Snoop and Eminem, yeah, and Dre, right? That was crazy to think that that he's gonna actually perform at the UFL halftime show. That's crazy to me that he's doing that. Well, aside from this, do you guys want the good news or the bad news about this weekend streams? Because there's some good news and some bad news about them. So which do you want first? While I look over here while you answer that, let me make sure I've got this setting put on right. Yes, I do. Okay. Micropoli got that money. The bad, the good, and the ugly. The bad. Give me the bad. So the bad news. We are down to 1 monitor for these streams. So reading chat, Twitter, and all that is going to be a lot less smooth than it was the rest of the year. I'm back down to 1 monitor. Now the reason for that is the good news. I have finally actually upgraded my PC for the first time in years, like actual upgrade. The issue is that because I upgraded my CPU to a traditional one and not an integrated graphics one, I can no longer use that port for a monitor. Well, look, the bad news and good news aren't both terrible, but the bad news part is that the GPU I currently have, see, my friend gave me some parts to use. The good GPU he gave me doesn't work. The bad one he gave me does work. The issue with that bad GPU is it's like a super, super old 2 GB Radeon unit that has two display ports or two ports, and one of them is an HDMI and one of them is like a weird DVI one that I do not have a connector for. Like, I have one that I used before, like it's like this one, except it's not this specific one, so I have no way to connect to it. So I have to wait to get another GPU, which I'm not gonna get an expensive one, God no, but I'm gonna get like a cheaper one this week. And then as long as that works, then I will be back to 2 monitors and fully upgraded. So if everything is fully done, I will have a significantly better PC. I'm already seeing the editing is a lot better. When I was editing videos, not the quality of the video, purely while editing. What was on the screen while editing was literally in like 260p. Now, it would export fine. It'd export to, 1080, 720, whatever, set it to. But while I was editing, it was always really, really choppy, and I couldn't see everything fully right, as well as the fact that it was always a little laggy. Since this change, again, it's only been like 3 days, it has been much smoother. It's a lot easier to edit and all that, so it's been a lot smoother. There's a couple of issues because I never updated my editing software. I was always a guy that, like, if it's working, I don't want to change it. And there's a couple of changes that are annoying since the updates, but overall, it's a lot smoother and easier to actually make videos for. I noticed that especially when I made the game picks video today, because I made the whole thing today and it was a lot smoother. But once everything is figured out, which it should be by next stream, I think worst case I won't be able to get the GPU till Thursday. It should be all good, and I'll be back to 2 monitors. I'll have higher, everything will be better, and it'll just be a lot smoother for streaming and all that. But yeah, it's rough, because like the one I was given, as soon as it's ever detected by the PC, like for those of you that know PCs, when you plug in a GPU, it's not actually detected until you download like the drivers for it. As soon as it would get detected, it wouldn't work. And then when I tried to fix it, like by deleting the graphics drivers, thinking something got corrupted, when I turned off the Windows update, when I turned it on or whatever, it never worked. As soon as it would get detected, it stopped working, and this was a used one that had a ton of dust on it, so I'm not shocked. In the fact that this other GPU works, I think the GPU is down the drain, because at least one other person I know that doesn't know fully about tech, but knows a lot more than me, said that if I have another GPU that is working with installed drivers, it probably means the GPU is bad, so hey, we rocking like a GPU that's this big right now. That's 2 gigabytes of VRAM. Until next week, it is what it is. 4th and goal. I have not. I think I may have vaguely heard of that. I don't know if that's an actual. Let me see. 4th and goal, UFL. Oh, oh yeah, they just announced it. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Trailer during tonight's game. That's a good thing. Took long enough for them to do something like that. But thank God they're doing something like that. It's a good change. What am I getting some stuff sent for? Oh, yeah, that, okay. Go back up here. Seeing some stuff there. Okay. 1% chance. In all access. I wonder how good that's going to be. I don't know if... I mean, it's not going to beat, United by Football's first episode with the, if you know, the Pizzagate scandal. So we'll see. But yeah, that'll be a while away, but that was a classic. That was such a classic. Let's see. Some random stuff. God, that game yesterday sucked. I hated watching that game. At least the Knicks won. I'm not like a Knicks fan, but like I'd rather the Knicks win. I don't really care who wins that. Either my pick is right or that's right, so yeah. Okay, unclick that. There we go. But we'll see what happens tonight. Jordan Ta'amu is obviously out for this game, so we'll see what ends up happening. What in the hell? Oh, that's right. This isn't... Get muted. I forgot that now that I forgot that I'm on the new thing, so it's all going to be different. Okay. Let me make sure I actually have this all muted. Okay, I only have 3 input captures. This should be off in general. I don't know why I have input 3. Yep, that's muted. Okay. What did Jackson Dart do? I just know about them extending Joe Shane, which I have no idea why you would do that. He has not done anything to deserve that. Oh, that okay, that's why. But I have no idea why they extended Joe Shane. Like, dude had like a couple good picks. It's crazy. Hey, sub G man. Hey, the Knicks man. They're crushing it. And you know what? Their odds of actually winning the title are going up every day because there's more and more injuries in this, Thunder Spurs series. I mean, if let's say the Knicks do sweep the Cavs, they get like, a few days off, get fully healthy, and if the Thunder Spurs ends up being like a 6-game series and injuries get worse, I mean, the Knicks could pull it off. I mean, really, they probably want to face the Spurs in all honesty. I think if they face the Thunder, even with injuries, the Thunder are so deep, they're probably cooked. But if they face the Spurs, there's a very real shot they could beat the Spurs. So we'll see. I do not remember who's starting this game. I know that Jalen Morton is starting for the Aviators. I don't remember who got the official start for this game. I think they're going to use both quarterbacks, though, I thought. But we'll see. And when it comes to the Panthers, I think they're trying to wait for full confirmation about the stadium being done. Like, I think it's something having to do with how, like, construction is going between them to where, like, they're fully comfortable saying, hey, we can do Oklahoma City, but that they can't do, the other one yet. They can't do Michigan yet. So I feel like that's one of those where it could literally be like at any point they end up doing it. I think they just want to know for sure, hey, it's gonna work. Like the stadium's gonna be done. They don't want to like be like, yeah, let's go to Michigan. Then it's like, oh, the stadium's not done. I guess we got to go to EMU anyway. You know what I mean? At least that's what I feel it is. I need a storm tub. I gotta go look at that post again. I gotta go see what the things are because, like I said, yeah. Again, when I was changing the computers and I was saving stuff because I ended up reinstalling Windows and all that, I ended up forgetting to actually redo that one specific thing. Like, I got most of my images backed up and I forgot to do my playoff one. I'm like, bruh, but yeah. DC needs either. Okay, so if Columbus and Louisville win, they clinch a spot, or if they win. It's that simple. So DC has 2 paths to clinch. St. Louis just simply has to beat Houston. That's all it is. There's no other way. Birmingham needs literally all 4 games to go to a specific way. They need to have Columbus. Okay, they need to win Columbus and DC. Wait, what? Beats Columbus. Oh, I'm looking at Birmingham. Yeah, they need Birmingham needs to win, DC to win, Dallas to win, and St. Louis to win. Then they clinch. I have no idea how that works, but whatever. Louisville needs to be eliminated if they lose and DC beats Orlando and Birmingham beats Columbus. Then they're eliminated because of the tiebreaker with Birmingham. I honestly don't. I guess the DC matters because then DC can get in ahead of them. So Louisville might be eliminated this week. Dallas if they lose, or if Birmingham and St. Louis win, then they're eliminated. Houston if they lose, they're eliminated. Columbus is eliminated if they lose. Louisville wins, or Houston wins. So as I was saying, like last week, for all intensive purposes, Columbus is eliminated. They legitimately need every single game, basically the rest of the year, to go their way to stay alive. Yes, put Big B in. Oh my gosh. I'm having a week at time. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I saw that there's jerseys at the shops, which, I guess I will say, hey, just saying, I got an email today. Some of you guys remember Collectible Exchange, right? Apparently, the partnership is somewhat still active. I may or may not have found out that they are going to be having 2025 game issue jerseys available on their shop in the next couple of weeks. Hey, just saying. Be on the lookout for that. Just saying. I may or may not have gotten an email about that. That 2025 game issued jerseys of players, and some of which may have been game worn, may be available in the shop. Be on the lookout for that. That's going to be pretty cool. Apparently, it's a lot of jerseys they got available in the shop. So, I don't know when that's going to come up into the shop, but it should be coming up at some point. But, yeah. Subcard. Now, the game is not started yet. They're still doing some intro packages at the moment. Yeah, recently got some game issue jerseys, especially. Highly likely. They don't even know for sure if they're there. That's great. But, yeah, so. I need a dresser win jersey. Honestly, I don't know for sure he might have a jersey. It looks like almost every player has at least one jersey available, from what I remember seeing. Memphis, Showboats, the Dwinner. Let's see, is the Dwinner on here? Wow, is he really not on here? I don't think I'm seeing his name. I'd be skimming it. He might not actually have one. Because I would assume it's just going to be Win on there. I'm not seeing that. But there's a lot of players. Like, Michigan has a ton available. San Antonio has a decent amount. St. Louis is a decent amount available. Honestly, Memphis looks to be the team that has, like, the least... No, Houston has the least available. Houston does not have that many. They got a couple of Sagapalus. They got a couple repeats. But, pretty cool. Kind of shocked that they're still using that. Like, I'm glad they're still doing it. I'm just shocked they're still doing it. I hope every win Columbus needs to happen on your prediction video today. Ooh. Orlando clinch home field win tonight. Yeah, they clinch home field tonight. The return is up to the 25-yard line. They clinch home field. But I honestly, I should have probably put that, but I just put the other thing because they do clinch a straight up win, or they clinch the 1 seed with a win. And wow, this is okay, but yeah. But they do fully clinch the 1 seed if they win and St. Louis loses, which is probably what they really want, is they can fully clinch 1 seed. The ball was out, but it looks like it was recovered by Orlando, so it doesn't really matter either way. Okay, we're gonna work here. We're just having a laugh. In shotgun. Orlando getting the ball first. Ball snapped. They hand it off. Cuts inside. Gets about 1.5 yards on the carry. Now, as we talked about in a couple of videos, Jack Plummer is going to be your MVP this year. There really is no world where he doesn't win MVP. It's sort of like that simple. There's no way he doesn't win it. It's the fact that, number one, he is leading in a few stats. Mainly the fact that he is, the only quarterback that has started every single game and hasn't, been mediocre to bad. Or, inconsistent because now Te'ama's going to miss games. It is very possible that it's going to be just Reed and Plummer, and even Reed is a question mark. Plummer might be the only guy to start every game, and even Week 10 he might not because they clinched the 1 seed. Ball is snapped. Fake the handoff. Throws it over to the right side. It is caught by, I believe, Chris Rowland for about a 7-yard gain. Going to be 1 yard shy of the first down. UFL-wise, because the XFL didn't really have an MVP, and even the guy that did give OPOY was debatable, if I remember correctly. Is it Saturday and Cavante Turpin? Yes. Magoo? Yes. Martinez? Yes. Perkins? Yeah, I agree. Of the MVPs from the USFL and the UFL, definitely the weakest MVP. Like, this is one of those where, like, if you had first place votes, he might not even get a first place vote in, like, any of those other years, but he is going to be your MVP this year. Honestly, Tanner Brown would not be a bad pick if he was fully accurate. Those couple of weeks hurt him. Plummer's rolling out to his right. He's going to throw the dump off. Gets to the 30. Gets the first down. Goes out of bounds for about a 2-yard gain. I know, man. It really is crazy. Like, weeks 4, like, really, to me, at least, weeks 4 to 8 just, like, flew by. Because, like, we are literally just this week and then one more and we're done for the regular season. Like, we only have 4 more weeks of football for the UFL, which is insane to think about already. The only thing is that I don't think is that I look at DTR and I look at it compared to Perkins. Perkins statistically was much better than him last year, and they would end up playing about similar games. Ball is snapped. Plummer looks to the back. He's going to throw another check down. Caught at the 35. Spins for about a 3-yard gain. And then the issue is that, like, DTR has not been consistently great. He has had, like, the Columbus game was bad, but he also had another game that was, like, sort of eh. So I think it is hard to really see him get MVP fully. I would understand it, but when you compare him to, what Perkins did statistically on similar games played, it's not really close. So, and especially when you consider the fact that arguably the skill position players are actually better for Birmingham than what they were. Granted, the coaching is a lot worse, but I can't see Plummer not winning it at this point. Second and 7 for the Storm. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, and it's going to be maybe a half-yard loss on the play. I mean, honestly, Tanner Brown wouldn't be the worst pick in the world. He did just have like those couple of weeks, which did hurt. Because if he doesn't have those couple of weeks and he's almost perfect, there is an argument for him because he has had a huge reason they won games. But yeah, it's probably gonna be Jack Plummer. I mean, 1 interception in 8 games is a pretty damn good stat. Even if you are check downing, which he did for about half the year, that's still impressive. Ball is snapped. Plummer looks to the middle of the field, looks left side of the field, throws a check down to the 40-yard line, gets the first down up to the 50, the 45, the 40, breaks the tackle, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Chris Rowland. It is 6-0 Orlando over DC right off the bat. 3 minutes in, the Orlando Storm are up 6-0. Oh my God, that was a great play by Chris Rowland right there. Oh man. Yeah, Cam Gill's got the sack lead. I wouldn't be too shocked if he win it. I know Cam Dantzler's had a good year, but it's probably going to go to Cam Gill. Crazy. That's a 62-yard touchdown officially. And all of it is yak. 12 air yards. Look at that. Was able to break 1 tackle. Had one guy do a nice block for him. And let's see if this kick is good to make it 7-0. Kick is up, and it is good. Rolling MVP. It would be cool, but yeah. Nah, I mean, for MVP for a receiver, man, you got to have a Conti Turpin-like season. Because, I mean, I don't think Corey Coleman was ever viewed as a legit candidate in 2023. Granted, I only missed the playoffs, but still. That's a crazy touchdown right there. Yak Plummer's your MVP. Yes, sir. Yak Plummer. What a shame. What a shame. The defenders is looking bad for him now. Okay. Weird, folks. Go back home. Let's see what's going up. Just more talks about Chris Rowland. Viva Beer Snakes up W here. Go back. Oh, and I clicked the wrong thing. Oh man, dude, it's so much. I need that second monitor back, bro. It's so much worse going back to one monitor, dude. Oh man. I don't know what this. It's just some similar saying, but like, man, bro, once you go to 2 monitors, you can't go back to 1. It's so much rough, bro. Like whenever I was doing the editing stuff yesterday, I noticed it because I'm like, I was putting YouTube on my second monitor, and now I can't, and it's just, oh man. Man, I hope I get that done next week. Of course, Memorial Day had to be this week. Like, Memorial Day was like last week or the week after, would be so much better, but now it's gonna push everything back by like 2 days. It is what it is. Why is this not updating fully? I don't know why my YouTube Studio is just not updating chat properly. It's raining tonight, dude. I think it's raining where I'm at too. I think it's raining like a huge amount. I hope it's not too bad where you are. Like it rained some yesterday, but not a ton. For DC to miss the playoffs, the main way they missed the playoffs, I believe, is Birmingham overtakes them and Louisville, right? So like that's a big reason why they still could clinch a playoff spot with a loss, because I believe there is a way where if like Louisville and Birmingham goes right. Basically, the easiest way to view it is if DC loses out and Louisville and Birmingham win out, they miss the playoffs. That's the easiest way to view it. Because then Birmingham will have like a better record and Louisville will have the tiebreaker. In fact, I think Louisville could even go 1-1 and still technically overtake DC. Technically. So that's really how DC can miss it. It's the same way as St. Louis. St. Louis could still miss the playoffs. If Houston were to win out, then St. Louis could miss the playoffs, because there still is a world where DC and St. Louis miss the playoffs. It's just that the odds are naturally unlikely. But could you imagine? Could you imagine if DC and St. Louis somehow missed the playoffs this year? Oh my God, that would be crazy. And if Houston gets in, Columbus, okay, I'm stopped. Ain't making it. Columbus ain't making it. Steven, I don't know if you're here, but they ain't making it. They're cooked. I mean, the fact they need 3 games to go their way just to survive this week is crazy. Return is at the 5, up to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, and it's going to be down about the 29-yard line. Yeah, because let me check that. Is this going to be the wrong YouTube or is it going to be the right YouTube? Again, going back to one monitor. Annoying. Where is your channel? Posts. Yeah, so let's see. In this game doesn't have any effect on the Columbus, actually. This is the one game of the week that has no effect on Columbus. So if you're Columbus, this game doesn't matter. Because there is no way for you to overtake either team. Like, Columbus is already below both these teams, if I remember correctly. I think it's a really weird scenario where they get in with DC and, like, over St. Louis or something really stupid like that. The rush to the right, it's going to get to the 40, the 35, the 50, gets to about the 40-yard line. Deion Jackson with a huge, like, 25, 30-yard rush. Oh, man, it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those games. St. Louis needs to make it. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, St. Louis has to make it because DC can't. Okay. It's weird. Columbus is weird. That's what I mean when I say Columbus is eliminated, because, like, it's such a weird scenario for them to get in. It's crazy. They basically somehow need, like, every team to lose out, even though there's only 8 teams in the league. They need them all to lose out, pretty much, except Orlando. They fake the handoff, and it's going to be about a 4-yard loss on the sack by Orlando. Immediate sack. He wasn't able to do anything. I believe that is Spencer Sanders in at quarterback right now, number 18. Who obviously did start, or basically started last week. Naturally, as soon as Teamo came out, he came in for the rest of the game and was, on a scale of Harrison Frost to James Morgan, he was, I guess, closer to James Morgan. I don't know. Do with that information what you will. But about a 6-yard loss to that play right there. Or technically 4. 2nd and 14. They got 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. 2 up top. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Tries to cut to the right, and Deion Jackson gets about 5 yards in the carry. James Morgan. What do you mean? Crying emoji to James Morgan. Wow, they only gave him 2 yards. But James Morgan, man, it's a classic. DC's score percent was at an 84. It's crazy. Second, okay, 68. Okay, they're basically saying they're going to go for the 4-point field goal, which honestly, at this point, you might be forced to. About Morgan around the campfire. 3rd and 12. What up, Roland Rivers? That's a classic. That's a classic right there. Roland Rivers. Kyle Laletta. Ooh. 3rd and 12 for the DC defenders. They got 5 wide, 3 at the bottom, 2 at the top. Spencer Sanders looks left side of the field, throws it over the middle, up to the 40, gets to the 35, and gets the first down, goes out of bounds right at the first down marker. Going to be about exactly a 12.5-yard gain. I mean, hey, the defenders historically sucked on defense up until this year. Gotta love it. Your team is named something, and that part sucks. I mean, DC's defense, like, this is the first year they've ever been competent. Ryan Leaf. That's... I don't know if it's that bad, but it's pretty bad. I don't know. That's pretty bad. Not week 1 Josh Love is up there. They try to rush up the middle. They end up getting about a yard. I believe it was Xavier Valladay, right? Yeah, Valladay had a crazy game last week. We'll see if we can keep that up. Yeah, not week 1 Josh Love is up there. Not against the Maulers, Paxton Lynch, arguably up there. Shea Patterson. Remember first overall pick Shea Patterson? Oh, man. Yeah, dude, Paxton Lynch, he was great in that week 10 game against Michigan. I mean, against Pittsburgh. That was about it. But I believe he's still playing somewhere. I believe he's still playing in indoor league. 3 receivers at the top of your screen. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. And they're going to get about 4.5 yards in the carry. It might call it 5. You got to be about 3rd and 3 here. Good old Shea Patterson is a classic. That's a classic name right there, dude. That 2022 year, oh, man. Kyle Sloter throwing all those interceptions, finishing with a passing lead, despite throwing like 15 interceptions, whatever it was. Third and 2 for the DC defenders. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. 2 up top. The tight end is also at the top of your screen as well. Ball snapped. Throws to the right, and it's going to be... Oh, that could have been pick 6. That was so close to pick 6. If he caught that, that would have been pick 6. Instead, it is a lucky break. DC is going to be able to kick a field goal here. That should have been another 6 points for Orlando. He jumped the route, got that, and he just dropped it. That's why he's a cornerback. Columbus needs to win out. St. Louis needs to win out. Louisville needs to lose out. Birmingham... Oh, my God. Yeah, pack it up, bro. Columbus, you're done. You're done. You need Louisville to lose out. Birmingham to lose out. Dallas and Houston to both get 1 win. I mean, that's literally saying Houston has to beat Birmingham and lose to St. Louis. Specifically, it's already crazy enough. Kick is up, and it is good. It is 7-3 Orlando over DC. Dakota, oh, God. You know what? He wasn't horrid. Was he, Luis Perez? No, but he wasn't terrible. They should have... That was weird how they did it. It's like Mike Riley wanted to keep the 2 UB system, but didn't do it right. It was weird. Colorado, the National and Regional League. Hey, brother's still playing. He's from 2016, and he's still going. Give him props for that. Yeah, for Columbus to make it, they need all that to go. That's crazy. That's literally saying Houston has to win in Week 10, and specifically Week 10, and if they don't, they're screwed. That's insane. Clayton Thorson. Hey, Clayton Thorson, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't... I don't know if I still do. I did have a really nice Clayton Thorson patch that I pulled from an Immaculate box back when, Immaculate Collegiate wasn't $500, back when it was like $200 or whatever. I think I still have that card. I think. Kenji Bahar. Hey, he was good. He was pretty nice in 2024. Or 2023, I should say. 2023, he was pretty nice. That was a solid QB right there for a little bit. Came in, did his job, wasn't terrible. Handed the ball off to Mark Thompson a lot. Vadley gets you the only win your team had all year, and you bench him like half a game later for Roland Rivers. Oh, my God. Like, it'd be one thing if you benched him for T. Will. You benched him for Roland Rivers. Ben Holmes. Oh, God. KJ Costello. Oh, no. That's an infamous one. That's going to be remembered for infamous reasons. That championship, man. Bro, I'm pretty sure Brian Scott's jersey is still available on Collectible Exchange. Man, remember those 3 games he had? The 2.5 games of Brian Scott? Ooh. That was fire. It's like 2 games? No, I'm saying if you had benched Vadley for T-Will, it wouldn't be that bad. But T-Will didn't come to the team till the next year. So you benched him for Roland Rivers. Like, oh my God. It's bad. Carson, oh God. Oh God. No, I remember that. That was rough. That was rough. That was a rough year watching Carson Strong play football for my Panthers. Especially because there was actual hype behind him, and then he ended up just being not good at all. Jared Garantano. Crazy to think that there are some people that probably don't even remember Jared Garantano, and that was only 2 years ago. Let's see what Orlando does on this subsequent drive. First drive, huge play to Chris Rowland. Roland Rivers. To Chris Rowland, and he gets the touchdown. Let's see what happens in this drive. Kickoff is at about the 6-yard line, up to the 10, the 20. Tries to cut inside, and he's going to be taken down at about the 24-ish yard line. That 2022 Maulers team was terrible. That was terrible, man. What in the AI-generated image am I seeing on my screen? This ain't it. Jack Plummer. Longest streak in UFL history. I'm honestly not shocked. That is a pretty crazy. 206 passing attempts, no interceptions. That's pretty damn good. Watch him throw a pick right now. Ball snap. They hand it off. Cuts inside. Gets about 3.5 yards in the carry. Going about second and either really short 2nd and 6 or, 2nd and 7, but it's really not. It's the same in week 4. That's hilarious. I don't even remember that, but that's hilarious. Was that week 4 against the Stallions? If that's why, that's why I don't remember it. 2nd and 7 for the Orlando Storm. 6.5 minutes left in the quarter. It's a Sunday night game. Going to be the other game we stream. It's shotgun, 1 running back to its right, 1 to its left. Ball snapped. Hands it off. Going to the right. It gets to 30. Going to be taken down for about a 4.5-yard gain. Going to be about 3rd and 2 here. Danny Etling. I don't know if that's forgotten. That's remembered in infamy as well. Just throwing him out there. Because why not? You know, let's just keep throwing Danny Etling out there every single game, because why not? Then Brian Lewerke, that's a throwback there. Brian Lewerke, remember him? Remember when he was the guy? He was the one splitting reps with Bryce. Don't never forget. Third and 2 for the Orlando Storm. 2 receivers at the top of your screen, motioning, rolling to the bottom. Ball is snapped. Plummer throws to the right. He's going to be caught by Rowan for a first down, and then some. Gets to about the 45-yard line. Lewerke, what a quarterback. Lindsey Scott. Not one of those guys. A lot of quarterbacks, man. A lot of quarterbacks that came and went, and then you got a few that have stuck around all this time. Brandon Silver's still having a job. There is a defender down at the moment. Let's go to Twitter while I can. A first trailer just came out for the 4th and goal. Okay, you can show that, I guess. Yeah, he dropped the trail. It's supposed to be revealed at half. True. Okay, what am I looking at? Kevin Hogan, oh god. Hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure he got you that win against Houston, right? You know, he did something. DeAndre Francois, oh my god, the Guardians, oh my god, I believe that was the Guardians, right? Oh no, that's a classic. Chase Garbers. It depends. It's just, the only thing that sucks is that the fact that all this is happening, I'm gonna have to do so many playoff videos in the next 2 weeks. I might do something like that when I do, like, this week or next week's power rankings. I might do something like that, but I don't know for sure, because I know this week, I'm pretty sure I have to do, I think, one. I don't know for sure. I think there might be a World War II of these teams survive. No, because, yes, at least one team is getting eliminated this week, at least. So, there's at least one team getting eliminated or something like that. Hey, Reed Sinnett won, like, the ELF MVP, I'm pretty sure. You know, for whatever that's worth, I think he did. Meanwhile, I think Talia was in that league and was, like, middle of the row in all the stats. Showing the playoff picture. Showing St. Louis and DC. Wow, I get that they're trying to do the throwback thing. That Columbus photo needs to be blurrier. They need to really emphasize the fact that team has no shot at making it. They really need to emphasize the fact that team is not making it. Like, seriously, the fact that Columbus still has a shot to make the playoffs is hilarious. It really is crazy they still have a shot to make the playoffs anyway. 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. In shotgun. It's going to be a flag for false start, it looks like. Yep, false start. Todd Haley can't hurt me anymore, oh my gosh. Yeah, all because of the St. Louis game, at least one scenario has to happen with a team clinching or getting eliminated. Well, technically, if St. Louis wins, then that means Houston gets eliminated and St. Louis clinches. So I think there still is a world where one team that's eliminated or clinches, and that would have to be Columbus being eliminated. I think there is a world where if Houston wins and Dallas wins, then every team is still, in the same spot they were, except for Columbus. Which would be fitting for the Aviators for them to be the only team getting screwed over this week. Good old Columbus. Good old Columbus. What a team. They tried, but they're cooked. And by the way, timeout called by Orlando. As you know, I'm not a fan of this timeout call. You haven't crossed the 50 yet. You're already down 5 yards. At this point, another 5 yards. It's basically the same as a holding penalty. I'm not really a fan anymore. Well, G-Man was a Showboats fan back when Todd Haley delivered the infamous game. The if you know, you know game. You're not a fan of this Orlando timeout. You already took the 5 yards in the false start. Who cares if you lose another 5 yards? It's the same as getting a holding call on first down. So definitely a wasted timeout. No matter what happens here, that's a timeout you really shouldn't have called. But we'll see. In shotgun. Ball snapped. Quick throw to the left. It is caught by Roland, who gets about 1 yard. And they're going to call about like a half-yard gain. Second down now. AU scored a safety. That's about it. And anything else we got? Yeah, you got a safety. You only lost by 40. Could have been 42, but it was only 40. Did give us a great meme though. Gave us a great meme that we see on screen right now. Yeah, that game. That game. Second and 15. Ball is snapped. Rolls up in the pocket. Throws it over the middle. Ooh, would have been a great play if they had caught that, but it's gonna be incomplete. 3rd and 15. Hey, you also had the Breakers game that year. Oh man. What a weird year. That team got blown out completely by New Orleans and Birmingham and still nearly made the playoffs. That's crazy. With Cole Kelly, baby. The streets never forgot about Cole Kelly. They might eventually forget about some other guys, but they ain't going to forget about Cole Kelly, man. Memphis legend right there. 3rd and 15 for the Orlando Storm. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Plummer is rolling. He throws it over the middle. He's going to be caught, but he's going to be about 3 yards shy. So they end up... But they do have to go for this now because they cross midfield, so they're going to be forced to go for this. Bro, speaking of TCG, bro, man, I hate the 3 prize meta in Pokemon. I don't care if it was the GX tag team. I don't care if it was the VMAX. I don't care if it's this mega. I hate the 3 prize format. It's annoying. They should have done the original. The original mega format was better where you had to have the Spirit Link. Or else you lost your turn mega evolving. That was so much better. Oh, damn, I forgot about that. I always say I'll take it off after the second drive, and I always keep it up. Thank you. Ball is snapped. Throws to the left. It's it! Oh my god, it was almost intercepted. Oh, it was terrible. That would have been a pick 6. That was intercepted. That's one for each team that really should have been a pick 6. So, football gods gave it an even break, but it is going to be DC's ball at about the 45-yard line. We're one of the best teams in League 5 and 3, by the way. I miss seeing the record above 500. Hey, that might happen this week. The Kings might get to that. The Kings might get to 5 and 4. We'll see. Yeah, that was a good team, and then the Breakers came and smacked them, and they were cooked. But yeah, man, like, I don't know, 3 prize man in Pokemon, I've always hated it, because you always have things that are just so high in HP, and it's so stupid. I just hate the fact, especially, like, they have the basic megas now, that's really stupid. Like, especially because you didn't do, like, so, for those that have recently gotten to Pokemon, because of, like, all the Pokemon Boom or whatever, it used to be that every EX was a basic, and then the megas were the evolved of the basic, no matter what. Now, if it just counts as the thing. You just have to evolve it normally. So, like, if you have a Pokemon like Aerodactyl, there is no Aerodactyl to Mega Aerodactyl. You just play Mega Aerodactyl. So, like, some of those decks are insanely stupid. Like, Mega Lucario, you just play a Riolu, and then you get a Lucario. It's so stupid. It is so unbelievably stupid. It makes for an awful meta. This is probably the worst meta we've had in the Pokemon TCG. The last 2 years, really, ever since Monkey Dory, Dragapult, that's been the worst meta we've seen in a long time. It's terrible. Definitely one of the worst times to play the TCG. Gotta love that Charlie's getting into Pokemon TCG in like the worst meta it's been in a decade. Oh, it's great. Whoever's always played like Traveling Weather Delays. Yeah, they lost that 2000 game, I'm pretty sure, right? When they had like 2K people that got crushed in that one. Mm. And throw you in the water. Or throw you in the trash, I mean. Okay, why is this still connected, dude? Like, I literally couldn't do that if I tried. I knew about Heroes getting support. I randomly bought a pack and pulled a new Thunder Giant. Just didn't know about any. What does it go to? Man, I never got into the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. That's like the only one I never actually learned to play whatsoever. Like, granted, I have no idea to play Magic now. I vaguely knew back in the past, but don't know now. Pokemon's the only one. That's like one where if I play like one game, I can be like, oh yeah, it's all the rules, and I remember everything. GX. I'm pretty sure Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a GX. I didn't even know we were talking about the Pokemon GX. I just remember the tag team sucked. But honestly, of all the three prizes, it's probably one I didn't have the biggest issue with. Because they really still were just regular GXs. They just had like a couple of them had a really stupid attack, but for the most part, they weren't like that awful. But damn, bro, the three prize era today sucks. VMAX era was bad, but this is even worse. In fact, you can just play basics like that is crazy. First and 10, DC defenders. And it's going to be an offsides, I believe. They might call false start. Let's see. Yep, false start and DC can lose 5 yards. Like I said, the only thing that really could benefit DC is if Houston pulls off the upset. Because if Houston pulls it up again, then, Orlando might rest starters next week in the city. I thought that's what it was. Yeah, GX. I thought that's what it was. I remember there being some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Because, like, Pokemon, I just think the Sun Moon era, because they didn't want to call it EXs for, like, a fourth time, so they called it GX. And then give it a few more years, they went back to EX anyway. I just called it the lowercase one. Ball snap, they hand it off. They cut inside, they get about 3 yards on the carry. Yeah, the OG series. That was a classic. It's still crazy that if you like watch Pokemon, that you have Brock being the same guy, the same voice actor as Kaiba. That's crazy. Another defender is down right now. It looks like 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in the first quarter. You're talking about Jordan Talmadge's injury right now. Yeah, the Kyle Busch that was terrible. That was tough to see. Like I said, I watched literally as soon as PTI ended. I'm pretty sure that was the first like main broadcast that talked about it with Sports Centers right after PTI. And when they said Kyle Busch died, I literally could not believe it. Like I said, the last time I felt anywhere like that was when Bray Wyatt died. And even then, like I said, this was even worse than that. Because at least Bray Wyatt, there were some health issues that were lingering, but this was the one that was like, what the hell? Because like it was like 4 hours before he died. They said he went to the hospital. That was it. Oh man. Mm. Yeah, got another injury down for DC. Gonna go to a commercial break right now. Did they ever say what it was? His injury flow was? I I don't know. I never fully looked it up to see exactly what his injury was. I just assumed it was like a torn ACL, but I genuinely don't know for sure. All defensive first team, Rudy go. I thought all defensive was still the same. What? So, wait, I gotta look this up. Who is the All NBA first team? All NBA first team. I said all defense. Um. So we're putting 3 centers on the all defensive first team. The fuck? Sure, I guess. Wow, that's crazy. 3 centers is diabolical. Wait, what is a Sore Thompson? Don't tell me they put 4. Uh, is he a small forward or power forward? Small forward. Okay, that's fine. But that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't really defend much. I cannot believe they put Rudy Gobert. I can't believe they got 3 centers and all defensive first team. It's diabolical. Yeah, I remember. That's one of those I remember where I was. I was in the car getting gas. I was like in the passenger seat where someone else was getting gas, and I saw it. And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it because I think it was like within like 20 minutes I heard about him dying or something like that. I remember where I was. I still remember the exact gas station. Oh, it's Yasir Durant again. Oh, that's rough. He just got like some sort of minor injury like a week or two ago, and now he's off. That might be it for his season. Man, it's looking bad for DC. It really is looking bad for DC right now. 2nd and 11 in shotgun. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. Sanders throws it deep over the middle, and it's going to be caught at the 20, the 25, the 15, the 10. It's going to be down to about the 9-yard line by by Kiki Cootie. Great play right there. Sup, Red? Crazy play right there. That's rough for Yasir Durant. Again, we talked about like a bit last week. I mean, he had a great story coming in later in the season to be this like savior for that O-line. He really was a big part, and that sucks that he's probably done for the year at that point. They rush to the left. Deion Jackson gets about 7 yards in the carry. Going to be second and like about 3. For both Panthers, yes. UFL formally and NFL sadly. What's up, Maverick? 2nd and 2 DC. About a minute to go in the quarter. And shotgun. Got one receiver far down at the bottom of your screen. Everybody else is close to the tackles. They hand it off again. Tries to cut the left. Touchdown. DC is now up 9-7 with 51 seconds left. Deion Jackson with the rushing touchdown. 9-7 DC. New post. Another must-see doctors. Okay, yeah, you just keep showing that. Austin Wells is trending. Okay, sure. Aaron Fox. Are they Dude, ain't no way. Ain't no way Twitter's system is not letting you say D Aaron. That's hilarious. Kick is up. It is good. It is 10-7. De'Aaron Fox is playing okay. They have 10-0. Is that what I just saw? How they win. That is. Oh my gosh. And click on that. What a stat line. 2 for 55 yards. What a stat line. Deep ball over the middle caught. Well, something else. 1-1 an extra point. 25 is pretty good. I definitely don't really have a favorite team. Like, there's a few teams I, like, follow more, I guess. But, like, really, no, it still is the Panthers. At this point, I'm just kind of waiting for them to get back. So, I'd definitely say it's still the Panthers. 10-7 DC over Orlando. UFL record. That's kind of sad that's the record. Again, I get it. It's USFL. Mark Thompson had like 14. Give me Neil. Then I'll probably have to just wait until I figure out a team that I definitely like the most. Because it's definitely not like... There's no... I don't know, like... Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe there'll be an expansion team I fully gel with. Like a fully vibe with. You know, one that gets coaches I like. One that isn't like... Hey... Ted Kid Jr., baby. You know what I mean? Let's see what Orlando can do. We are still in the first quarter, by the way. 8:45 p.m. EST, and we are still in the first quarter. We got 50 seconds left in this quarter. Let's see what Orlando can do here. Presumably 2 plays left in this quarter. In shotgun. Two receivers and a tight end in the bottom of your screen. One receiver at the top. Running back is 2 plumbers right. Delayed handoff, and it's going to be about a 1.5 yard gain. Jason Bean has not played a snap yet. Tom said that injury that kept him out longer than anticipated in 24, and then it was downhill from there. Had that issue with the Florida stuff or whatever it was. That was weird. But, yeah, that's about it. 2nd and 9 for the Orlando Storm now. Hey, Wells Hill's injuries suck. That really hurt. Matt Colburn is rough to see. I really wish he was back too. Ball snapped. Throw over the middle. And it's going to be down about the... They're going to call it a catch. It's down about the 40-yard line. Hey, he's backlogged. He's playing UFL, right? Was it Channing Strickland who said that? That's why he blackballed. That's actually great. Good old Danhausen's curse. The fact that the NBA, the fact that it's now been twice, because the Knicks were losing until he uncursed them, and now that they're beating, you can't make it. It's all a work, bro. What was it? Was it Hulk Hogan that did it? You worked yourself into a shoot that was a worker. That really elaborate tweet like that. That's basically basketball and wrestling right now. Hey. At some point, we're going to get Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton at a Mania or something. They're building to that, so it'll happen. Hey, Orlando's got the MVP by default. It is true, man. I don't want to be a hater, but damn, bro. Jack Plummer is the weakest MVP in this era of spring football by far. Of that would be the 5th MVP because the X-Bowl didn't have one. The weakest by far. Oh my god. Dude, 3 games of Bryce Perkins is arguably better. Vegas is in on the joke. And at what point is it not a joke? I definitely will. I've been doing it the last few years. I definitely will. I'm probably going to be even worse than what I've already done, but I definitely will do something. I don't know if it's going to be a full video or just my regular game picks. I'll probably do a full video. I don't know for sure. That depends. Depends exactly when teams get eliminated because, man, that could potentially mean I do, literally 11 videos that 1 week. Oh, God. But we'll see. Speaking of Vegas, I got to look up that score. How is Vegas doing right now? They are down 1-0. Who has the goal? Nikshushin? Ross Cole. Brent Burns. Oh, I hate seeing Brent Burns score just because I wish he was still on the team. Could have used him yesterday. 19-7. Come on, Spurs. Keep that up. Nobody wants to see the Thunder win this series. Let's keep going, Spurs. Let's see. What is MVP doing? He is 0 of 2. Kevin Vassell has more points. Oh, it's great. Devin Vassell right now has more points than the entire Thunder. Oh, no. The Thunder, man. Oh, because they had that damn GM. Stupid Paul George trade is still given. I think it's finally over. I think that trade is finally over. But it's crazy how much they got. That was one of the biggest, such a dumb trade. Colorado needs to lose. Good old Vegas. Maribel Hills. CJ Maribel is great. Matt Colburn. Garrett Groshek. Bro, Madre London. That duo was a bit of a disappointing duo. That was sort of like the Aviators now, but to a lesser extent, but it was something else. The United Bowl. I'm gonna be there, chat. The Ballers, bro. You would think that with the talent that team had, they'd be better than what they were. Really, both years. Granted, I know, he who shall not be named was coaching that team that 1 year, but even in 2023, man, should have been better than 4-6 for the playoff spot and winning a game. Return is it's going to be about a 6-yard gain on the quick little reception to the side. Showing Roland versus Thompson right now. United Bowl is going to be sick though. Dude, we are literally get second and 4 passes thrown deep to the right. It is going to be caught at the 5, the touchdown. I believe Eli Rogers. It is a touchdown. He was wide open in the corner right there. Not even in the end zone, just the corner right outside the end zone. There it is. Yep. Oh, Badger. Elijah Badger with touchdown. It is 13-10. Orlando over DC. But yeah, I mean, think about it like this. The UFL is getting a guy that just performed the halftime show of the Super Bowl like 4 years ago. Remember, 50 Cent was at that halftime show. He performed the one with Dre, Mary J. Blige, and all that, and we are literally getting him. So, like, in a way, it is the Super Bowl. We have an actual Super Bowl halftime performer from the last 5 years doing the halftime show, which is crazy. Granted, it's like, you know what Tisdale was saying, and like what I saw. He better be in the middle of the field, because if he's in the same place Whale was, I guarantee you 90% of the people in that stadium are not seeing him, because Whale was in this like little teeny area at the side. Kick is up. It is good. It is 14-10 Orlando over DC. They don't censoring songs, dude. Oh, Lord, that pissed me off. Oh, man. In 2020, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Just whenever you go on certain places and you see people censoring the most basic words ever, it's just so aggravating. Good old 2026, bro. People are afraid of like every single word, bro. It's so bad. Like I'm sorry, but if like the word kiss like triggers something, like damn, bro. I'm sorry. Stop. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying. That's not insensitive. That is just true. I mean, at some point, man, you gotta call it like it is. Like, goddamn, bro. Let us say some words. Okay. Oh, that's right. My camera is a bit weird. I gotta move this. What if I move this here? I'm moving it the wrong way. Ooh, there we go. Almost. Okay, I'm like almost centered, but like, okay. Screw it. We're gonna keep it there. We'll have the little corner right up there. We'll keep the little corner up there while we're in commercial break for the half or for the post touchdown one. But yeah, the censorship today is terrible. It is awful. I mean, I know Reddit is Reddit, but that one is so bad. So many posts just have the most stupid things I've ever seen. Let's see. E-Pack, oh god. Upload, okay. John Gruden on my TV, let's go. Really bad words in the field from mic up players can't allow because of words in a song. People are snowflakes, this generation sucks. Man, it's something else. Like, dude, we used to live in a society where, you know, people played Call of Duty and, you know, if you were in the in-game chat, it was at your own risk. You know what I mean? And today it's like, oh no, you used any curse word, ban, you know, timeout. It's like, come on, man. John Gruden at the game? Or is that a great... John Gruden? Gotta love that. Because that the Redskins got canceled. Let's see. 30-yard line kick is up. Is going to be recovered at the 5-yard line. Oh, he muffed it, but he gets up 10, the 15, the 20. And it's going to be tackled at about the 20 exactly. Jay Gruden. Oh, man. I love how they really scapegoated John. Oh man, it was something else, man. If you were around for that when they fully scapegoated John Gruden for that whole situation, that in the end it still ended up, screwing over Snyder. Mm. But yeah, man, the Redskins is something else. Like you can especially tell because people still use it. Like you'll see, especially old players will still use it because like that's what it was for all those years, and they just change it for like no reason. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I think technically we can have almost every spot clinch this week, but even then, it's still crazy how good this season has been. This has been a great UFL season for sure. Three receivers at the top of your screen, ball is snapped, they hand it off inside. It's going to be about a 4.5 yard gain. They're about a 5 yard game. Commies suck. That vote has, I swear, that vote has to be the worst. That vote had to be the worst ever. There is no way that the actual season ticket holders voted Commanders over every other option. Like what the football team, the Red Wolves, and all that. Like there's no way that actual human beings said let's go with the Commanders. No way. No disrespect to San Antonio and the San Antonio Commanders. No way they voted on that. They rushed to the right. They're gonna get the first down. Gonna be down about 1 yard past the first down marker. First down for the or for the DC defenders. Washington defenders. First and 10 for the DC defenders. Granted, I will say, Guardians might be worse. That might be worse. It's sneaky because they basically just purposely picked a name. They keep the same everything, but still, that was bad. They hand it off, rush inside, get about 5 yards on the carry. 2nd and 5. Especially because you could have got back to the Spiders. That was the worst. Guardians was the worst. That was so stupid. 2nd and 5 for the DC defenders. As long as Chicago doesn't change it. Got it. The Red Wolves was, I think, the one I remember a lot of people wanted was the Washington Red Wolves was one I think a lot of people saw. And they were trying to make some BS arguments why they couldn't do it. And it's like, bro, it's the NFL. They can do whatever they want. Rush to the right. It's going to be a great play by the Orlando defense. They get him right in the back. It's going to be Abram Smith losing about 4 yards in the carry. Might even call it about 5. I would have changed having Kevin hired. Hey, Peyton Party was right there. And they decided not to. Like, come on, man. It says the defenders scared of neon green unis are just, oh my gosh. I did not see that tweet. 3rd and 9, DC. In shotgun, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Tight end is lined up at the bottom of it. Ball snapped. Sanders is pressured, rolling to his right. Great block by the lineman. Throws to the right. That's going to be, would have been a great catch. That was a great play by the tackle or the guard. Made a great play. If he had made that catch, it would have been fully on the tackle. Not even the receiver or the quarterback deserves most of the credit. That was a great play by him, but in the end, incomplete pass. Huge missed opportunity. Yeah, definitely bad. 0-9 Guardians beat the defenders at one point. I think it was 0-8. Yeah, I think it wasn't. I think it was 0-8 at that point. I think it was week 9 that happened, if I remember correctly. I remember that upset. Even being like a more USFL guy, I remember that. I think they were 0-8 and they beat them. Because it was like just worse than the Maulers when they beat the Gamblers. I think the Maulers were at that point like 0-6 or 0-7 when they beat the Gamblers, and it was like one game better or worse, whatever you want to call it. Punt is up. It is going to be out of bounds at the 15. That should be a touchback to about 20, I believe, at 25. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 0-8. It might have been 0-7. I think the Maulers were 0-6 or 0-7, and the Guardians were 0-8 when they pulled off their upset. And like they beat them. I'm pretty sure they beat DC. Whereas like Pittsburgh was like they barely. No, it was a classic Houston choke job. If you remember 2022, classic Houston choke job. But like Orlando, I think they bitch slapped DC if I remember correctly in that game. $11 left in the half. In shotgun for Orlando, Jack Plummer. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to the left. Great play by DC. It's only about a half-yard gain for the Orlando Storm. Let's see, notification. Okay, random documentary. Okay, some random stuff. Okay. And about nothing else. Okay. John Gruden. Oh man, dude. Imagine telling somebody John Gruden was going to be talking UFL football on live UFL TV like 5 years ago. Or 3 years ago, I should say. Pass to the left is going to be caught out of bounds. Getting about an 8-yard, or about a 7-yard gain with where they're spotting, and about a 7-yard gain for the Orlando Storm. Going to be 3rd and 3 here. Wow, calling it 3rd and 4. Wow, they give him a bad spot. 10 minutes left in the half when they snap this ball, roughly. In shotgun, 3 receivers in the bunch up top, 1 at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Deep throw to the left. It is going to be, oh, it was another almost intercepted. That was an overthrown pass, almost intercepted. Not as close as the other two we've talked about, but still a close one, almost intercepted. Going to be 4th and 4. DC forces the punt for Orlando. Man, it was looking bad for the Kings early on. It ain't looking bad for them anymore, but it was looking rough for them early on. But they're doing pretty decent now. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can end up pulling it off. Like, if they can actually end up pulling off a playoff spot. I think they probably do. I think that a mix, like, it's either they just have to win out. I genuinely believe if they win out, something will align and they'll make the playoffs. Punt is up. It'll be recovered initially at about the 5-yard line. Ooh, bounced, and it's going to be a touchback. No. They can clinch, but if Louisville wins out and either DC loses out or Birmingham loses one game, then yes, they clinch. Louisville basically has to try and clinch over DC or Birmingham. If they have the same record, they lose to Birmingham. If they have the same record as DC, they win above DC. Now, granted, if Louisville wins one game and Birmingham loses out, they can also make the playoffs that way. I would assume, honestly, the Panthers could. I wouldn't be too shocked if they were to get somebody like Rocket Mortgage to become an owner for the team, if that is true. But in terms of current teams, St. Louis may have lost a bit, but I still could see them pull it off. Honestly, I wouldn't be too shocked with Louisville. With how Louisville is doing in the fan support, even Orlando, I could see one of them being the next one. At least that's what I would say. St. Louis is obviously still an option, but we'd see a number go down. Like, you don't want to see numbers go down like that, but yeah. Yeah, Birmingham needs to get a bit of a benefit there. There's a lot of really weird ones, but I mean, when we're talking about Louisville just needs a better record than either of those two teams, but then actually the three-way tie, it's really weird, but it is such a weird way, especially because you're in the one league conference where like everything is based on like super secondary tiebreakers or head-to-head, but then it's like a weird three-way one. That's why it's so much simpler to be like a team win out, lose out, and all that, but we'll see. Bias and shut close. Anything on Twitter while we're in commercial break? Still 12 new posts, and I'm gonna bet like none of them are big. Where is Bean? That's literally like the third tweet I just saw. And Spencer Sanders is back out there again. I know DC fans are probably not too happy. Well, we'll see what they can do here. They're down by 4. We got about 9 minutes left in the half. Probably going to have like 3 more total drives in this one, so DC's probably going to get the ball back one more time, I would assume. Yeah, we'll see. Going to be in shotgun. 1 receiver fully at the top of your screen. Rest at the bottom of your screen, pretty much. 2 of 456. Oh my gosh. I would slide 2. Oh my gosh. Hey. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Cuts inside. And he gets about 8 yards in carry. It wasn't as bad as Chase Garber's. That was horrid. That was terrible. Because he really was egregious with it. And it was in a championship game. Like, oh, man. No, DC can still clinch a playoff spot this week. I believe they are still just straight up winning their in. Ooh, I believe they are. I think they are winning in because of tiebreakers. I think they're the one that actually has an easier time clinching because I believe there's actually 2 ways they can clinch. Ball snap. They actually lose a few yards. Gonna be about a 4-yard loss. Another good play by the defense. Yeah, DC can clinch if they win, or both Columbus and Louisville win. I don't know what the Louisville win. I guess it's strength of loss or something, but yeah, so DC actually has technically like purely if you viewed every game as 50-50, they have an easier shot to clinch than even St. Louis. Naturally, in reality, DC has to beat this team versus St. Louis beating DC. But yeah, DC technically can clinch even with a loss today. 3rd and 4, ball snapped. Pressured, rolling out to his right. That's going to be a face mask, and I think it might even be Spencer Sanders. He gets the first down, but I think he's going to lose this. It's a huge 15-yard play, but I think they're going to actually lose this or get this cost on him. Oh, if Orlando wins, but yeah. But yeah, DC can still technically clinch. It's weird, but yeah, if they have those 2 games go their way, they can clinch even with a loss, which would be hilarious. Like 5-5 DC defenders making a playoff spot. Oh my god. Hey, throwing off is great. 3rd and 19. Oh man. 3rd and 19 for the DC defenders. 7.5 minutes. Heckling me when DC arrived was funny. Still can't believe they never put him in. Why would you trade DeLilo if you're not going to use Bean? That is so stupid. Ball snapped. Pressured. Gets to the 20, the 25, the 30. And it's going to be a 3-yard shy. Would have been really interesting if you got that, because I wouldn't have been shocked if Orlando would have challenged that, if you could, because apparently you can't challenge pre-snap penalties anymore, but we'll see. When they heckling traded players already, honestly true. Yeah, that trade is bad. Like, so far, the only trade that aged well was the DTR trade, because honestly, both teams are kind of okay with it. The Orlando Storm got depth at their D-line, and they have a backup that fits their system better. Meanwhile, Birmingham got a quarterback that's actually helping them win games, compared to the other 2 teams, where both teams are definitely looking at the trade being like, damn, we really shouldn't have done this trade. Because DC got rid of their backup for a 3rd stringer, and then obviously the Luis Perez trade is you're rocking with Austin Reed in the big May of 2026 right now. That ain't good. You know what I mean? Come on. But it is what it is, I guess. Showing the touchdown to Chris Rowland again. Showing another deep play to Badger right now. That was crazy. He was literally wide open in the corner there. If you can't do the Outlaws, man, why not move them instead of move the Oakland Invaders? Do them. That'd be a great one. They rushed to the right. Plummer tried to do, or the Titan tried to do something about a 2-yard gain. Hey, Big W Peninsulas. You gotta love it being shared. Gotta love Facebook. Gotta love that I just post stuff and everybody else shares it because I'm just not big on it. 2nd and 6 for the Orlando Storm. 6 minutes left in the half. In shotgun, ball is snapped. Hands it off up the middle. It's going to be about a 5-yard gain. About a 5-yard gain. Might call it 6. It's going to be about 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. Jack Plummer having a really good stat line. Yes, he had a little bit of yak there, but he had one huge play, so yeah. I could see myself doing something at some point in the future like that. There's definitely a few that I'm just there's a few collabs I definitely could do in the future at some point. I mean, it was great finally doing one with Defending Football Show earlier this year. I was about to do a second one, but then something ended up happening. But it's great that we've done that one. Being on a couple extra shows this year has been cool. Ball is snapped. Passes a deep throw to the right. It is going to be caught. Is he in? If that's caught, it's up to the 20-yard line. It's a massive play if you're going to call it a catch. They are calling it a catch. Huge play. Sick play right there for the defense or for the Storm. Why DC defense not terrorizing a lone storm? They look unstoppable 2 weeks to 7. What the? Oh my god, little losers. Little kitten threw some stuff in here. I have to get that half, but the defense, man, it's just something that ended up happening. Louisville just sort of maybe exposed some part of it. I mean, well, here's the thing. Even last week, they were good. Like, last week, they were a great unit. The defense is why that game was even close. Like, that game really should have been like a 50-point burger for the Kings. The defense kept them in it. So, like, I would say last week, the defense still was great. Like, the offense cost them the game last week. But when it comes to DC now, I don't know, man. Orlando, I guess the MVP, weakest MVP in UFL history, coming out here to get the W. At this point, I'd be surprised if DC wins. And, you know, some of you might say it was pessimistic for me to say this, but I stood by it when I first said it. DC's best bet is that St. Louis loses this week. They want to play Orlando when they're using their backups so they can clinch a playoff spot. That's really the best way DC has, because I did not expect them to win this game tonight. But not gamblers. Hey, I mean, they're playing again this week, so we'll see if they can get the sweep or not. Yeah, it's a great catch right there. It's a beautiful one. That's good in the NFL. He just caught that. Ball never hit the ground. Great play. They're literally showing the angle right behind Gruden. That's great. That's actually great. I will say they couldn't have set Gruden up somewhere to where like his setup was like the opposite way so he could see on the field while talking. I'm just saying, like, that would be pretty cool. 5 minutes left in half. Ball is snapped. Throw to the right side, and it's going to be incomplete. There's going to be defensive holding. They call that pass interference. Even worse. I will say he wouldn't have caught that. That was uncatchable. He wouldn't have caught that, but you can't know for sure because he fully stopped him from moving. So I get it. I get the call. Yeah, 11-yard penalty. First and goal at about the 7-yard line. They're about the 8-yard line now. We'll see what Orlando can do here. Can they get another touchdown? Try and really get this game out of hand a little bit. Remember, they do get the ball at half, if I remember correctly. DC, I do believe, got the ball first. I don't remember. No, I think Orlando did. Yeah, Orlando got the ball first. So they only want to be up heading into half then. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. Plummer rolling to his right. He's going to throw it. Touchdown, Orlando. It is 20-10 Orlando over DC. There is a flag. That was an Elijah Badger touchdown, but there is a flag. We'll see what this flag is. Ooh, offensive penalty. Offensive player downfield, or offensive lineman downfield. So they lose the touchdown. They have to go for it again. They're going to lose about 5 yards on the play, so it's going to be now first and goal from about the 13-yard line. Odds are the next drive for DC, they're probably going to try to get that to be the last drive of the half, but we'll see if that ends up happening. First of all, we got to see if Orlando can score, though. Yeah, the lineman is literally in the end zone. That's great. First and goal. Ball is snapped. They do a little pitch play up front, and it's going to be about a 6.5-yard gain. Going to be about second and goal from the 3. I wasn't super mad. I was. It was one of those where I'm more mad about what they did specifically. Like, a lot of the things they did, I really didn't like. Because they went with a lot of the XFL stuff that really sucked. Like, the XFL didn't play in home markets. Like, I mean, just an FYI, technically speaking, the USFL in 2023 still holds the record for most teams based in their home markets. The rush for about 2 yards. Stop licking the bag. Like in terms of teams being based in their home markets in this era of spring football, the USFL in 2023 still holds the record at a whopping 3. Because right now, I think right now, technically, there's 0 now. I think Dallas might still be in their home market. But the XFL didn't have a single team. They had one team based in their home market. The USFL had one team based in their home market, and now they still maybe have one, whereas the USFL did have 3. Because being based in your home market means you practice, play, and live there, not just, play there and show up one day before practice. I hate that's still not a thing, especially with Mike Rapoli talking about money isn't as big a deal anymore. Specifically talking about like a Western expansion, the money's not a big deal. Put these teams in their home markets then. Like that will help your attendance to a degree. That sucks. And in fact, obviously, you only kept 8 teams. You had 16. You only have 8. Well, no, that's not being based in the home market. Playing in a market is not being based there. Because technically speaking, you can have any team being based anywhere. That's like saying the Jaguars are based in London because they play a game there. If you're based in a market, you practice there, you live there, you play there, you only leave when you travel outward, right? Like that's why the past 2 years Arlington was the only team based in the home market because they practiced, played, and lived in Arlington. The USFL in 23, the Showboats were based in Memphis. They practiced there, they lived there. Stallions practiced, lived in Birmingham. Panthers practiced, lived in Detroit. And that was why they had their opposite strategy, but naturally hurt attendance because you did the non-hub games that sucked. But I hate that we still only have like the one team actually based in their home market. I really hope they change that next year. At least one more team needs to be based in their home market. 3rd and goal, ball snapped. It's a touchdown. Again, wide open in the corner of the end zone. Not even full corner, but Camper gets a touchdown. It is back to being 20-10 Orlando over DC. Three minutes and 17 seconds left. Probably just one more drive in the half. Probably just going to be the one drive that DC has, unless they really botch this one, but we'll see. Let's see any post on X that's new. Let's see, just some more UFL stuff. John Gruden, and that's about it. Okay. Kick is up. It is close to being blocked, but it is a good kick. I've been waiting for so long. Yeah, DC use a timeout and they lose it anyway. Oh, man. Alright, well, I'm going to go let Pretty out. Pretty wants to come out of the room, so I'm going to go let her out real quick. Pretty, you want to come out? You can't have it both ways. You want to come out or you want to stay in here? Let's go. There you go. Have fun. And she's out of the room. She just wanted to head outside, probably go on the couch out there. Man, I can't wait to have this PC fully done. I've got so many random boxes in here for everything that I need to get this all done soon. Hopefully, like I said, in the next, 6 days it's done. But we'll see. Go back to let me look at the scores of the game right now. 41-41 San Antonio. What are you doing, man? You got to beat this team. You got to beat this fraudulent team. SGA is 2 of 6. Man, I thought that was the MVP winner. Can't have a bad game like that. He hasn't been good like all series technically. Like, even in game 2, he wasn't that good, if I remember correctly. Let's see, game 2. No, he was good. Decent. I mean, 50% considering what he was an MVP for. 50% is actually pretty bad, but wow, especially because he only shot 2-pointers. Oh man, that's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad stat line. And now they got the lead, and it's still 1-0 Colorado. But Grant's only been 4. It's only been like 6 minutes since I last looked at that one, technically in terms of game time. Lenovo Center. Oh man. Showing some random stuff, crazy. Jack Plummer. SGA versus it equals Jack Plummer. Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna go into it too much. I've said my opinion on him winning MVP this year before it even actually win it. That's all I'll say. Yeah, the Kings, man, they pwned the Renegades last time I played them. Sunday, near doubleheader. You know, it's one game right after another. Granted, the other game is on ESPN at 2 and the other's on Fox. We got the game tomorrow at 3 o'clock, ABC. And obviously this weekend, it's going to be a really weird weekend with racing. Like, you got the Indy 500, the Coca-Cola 600 or 500. But naturally, with the whole Kyle Busch, man, it's going to have such a dark overtone on the whole thing. Returns up to the 15, the 20. As he be down about the 26-yard line. And only 3 new teams, including playoffs. Dallas Renegades is the only team currently with less than 20 wins in franchise history. That's hilarious. I mean, hey, they've never finished above 500. Their best record was 500. They pulled off twice, if you include the playoffs, which is hilarious. Free throws equals short passes. SGA, man. And you know what's great? What I love about SGA winning MVP this year is that he's going to have a significantly better year next year and going to be the clear-cut MVP, and he's not going to win it. Like, I already know how the NBA voters work. He is going to have a better year next year, be the clear-cut MVP. He's going to make Victor Nikola look like children, and he's not going to win it because they don't want to give it to him 3 straight. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's like Jokic. They rush to the left. It's going to be a first down. Ooh, 2 big hits, but he ends up holding on the ball. It's going to be about a 13-yard gain. It's like Jokic during his third time. When he had his third chance to win his third straight MVP, it was his clear-cut best season, and they just didn't give it to him because they didn't want to give it to him. Same thing they sort of did to Giannis. Like, technically, it was his second best year because he had that one DPOY season, but still. Sidearm pass, almost intercepted. That was a egregiously bad pass. He tried to do a sidearm, a little Mahomey-esque play, and he almost got that intercepted. That's probably like the 5th play that really could have and should have been intercepted in this game between both quarterbacks. Michigan has more than that. I mean, well, granted, they had the extra year. Is that pure? Oh, UFL? I mean, well, you're talking franchise. Okay, yeah. Name 19, including the playoffs. 2nd and 10 for the DC Defenders. Ball snapped. Handed off. And it's going to be about a half-yard gain. This UFL season last year had so much lore, bro. Oh my gosh. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Man, the NBA media, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The NBA media is a J-O-K-E joke. They do not know how to do awards at all. Like, when they gave Ja Morant most improved player, or even Cade, like, bro, you're the number 1 overall pick and you're getting the most improved player. Something went horribly wrong. Like, oh man, but the MVP is the worst. They picked the MVP before the season starts. Everybody talks about, oh, well, the injury to Jokic. Stop, bro. Like, he came back, played hurt, and was still better than most players, and that's why his stats, a certain one of them went down. It was terrible. It's terrible, man. It is bad. NBA media. Granted, the NHL media, I know there's like that one voter that said he wouldn't vote for, Kucherov for MVP because of the fact that, he didn't play in the Olympics. Like, it's like, oh yeah, bro. Nikita Kucherov, I can't believe you specifically caused the entire war in Ukraine, Nikita Kucherov. Like, beating dead ass? Like, seriously. Really? Crazy. Granted, Nikita Kucherov is becoming the James Harden of the NHL. Because, damn, bro, he has sucked in the playoffs the last, 5 years. He's been awful. As soon as the playoffs hit, gone. Ruled out. Not shocked. That sucks. That was such a big deal when he came back. When Yasir ended up coming back, it was such a big deal. Gave a lot of hope to the defenders because that O-line was so bad before that. And then seeing him get hurt a bit last week, and now he's out for the game and probably out for the year. That's rough. Will be interesting to see who wins the awards, though, in the NHL. Because I think they're probably going to give McKinnon the Hart Trophy, though I wouldn't. I really don't see why he would get it this year. I think even though he sucked in the playoffs, at the end of the day, nobody really thought the Lightning were going to be, even a playoff team, let alone, the 5th best record in the league. I think Kucherov deserves it more, even with how bad he was in the postseason. I don't think it should go to McKinnon this year. It probably will. Hell, even Celebrini, because the NHL has given the MVP to a non-playoff team before, or playoff player. Like I think Lemieux won it once as a non-one. Celebrini arguably deserves it because that team, even though they're young and have a lot of talent, they're not as talented overall as the Canadians. And Celebrini literally broke a record held by, I believe, Jumbo Joe had the record. You broke a Joe Thornton record. That's crazy. I think that he should win the Hart. It should be him or Kucherov. I do not think it should be McKinnon. I don't think it should be McDavid. But it's probably going to be McKinnon. I don't know, man. In shotgun 3 see at the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom. Time's being called. The one thing I will say with the Kings win. The one thing I will say about that game. The Kings also could have scored in the extra overtime. Like, I'm just saying they could have scored. But the bottom line is the Storm's record isn't impressive. The bottom line is this. There's really no team that has an impressive schedule. The Defenders have lost that title in the last 2 weeks. Even the Battlehawks don't have a really impressive schedule when you consider the fact that, stupid cat. When you consider the fact that, they just lost to Houston, really doesn't work. So Orlando still technically does have the best schedule. It's just not impressive at all. Especially compared to teams the last 2 years. But it's one of those years where it's like everybody is so like evenly matched that it is technically better than any other team. Because, I mean, they got 6 wins at the end of the day, 2 over Louisville. They did beat Birmingham once, and that was, they did beat Birmingham. And they're probably going to beat DC today. Granted, I understand, the quarterback injury, but false start on DC. They're going to, terrible. Played a playoff team and lost. Now playing Defenders at the starting quarterback. I mean, they played Birmingham twice in a 3-week span. They beat them the first time, and they barely lost. And even the second one, they still did outplay Birmingham. Because that's the other thing you remember. Like, if you're going to do you always have to do it both ways, right? Because like I've said, the week 1 win against Columbus wasn't that impressive. You got a kickoff return fumble. That is the definition of an extra drive, and you barely won. Granted, they thoroughly outplayed Birmingham in that second game. The only reason they lost was because at the very beginning, 2 turnovers. It's going to be a sack for Orlando. DC loses about 7 yards on the play. It's going to be 4th down. Because, like, they were in a 14-0 hole and ended up losing by, like, what was it, 2 points or 3 points? I think it was, like, 16-3 is what they outscored them, or 17-3. So, like, even in the second Birmingham game, they did outplay Birmingham. So, it's like, whenever they have one of those games where you have a Columbus where they got the win, but it wasn't impressive. They have a game they lost, but they were actually impressive. St. Louis, though, they lost. That was a clear-cut St. Louis beat you, and they were better that day. Just that, St. Louis then, threw away their goodwill losing to Houston last week. Again, similar story, though. Overall, thoroughly outplayed, and they just couldn't score in the red zone, which Houston did twice this season. Weird year, that's what I mean. It's such a weird season, man. This is definitely one of the weirder seasons. Because even the 2023 USFL season, it was you had the great division and the weak division. And so they were both close battles in their own divisions, but it was still clear that, like, the Showboats, which were the worst team in the South, were arguably better than the best team in the North. It's just that because you had 2 divisions and every team was 4-6 or worse, and the other, everyone was 5-5 or better. It was still clear cut. Whereas this year, it's like, it's Columbus, then it's everybody else all like, close together. But Columbus is they definitely I don't know, them and Dallas. Dallas sucks, bro. Dallas is gonna get their ass kicked this week. DC is gonna be using their super challenge right now to try and get a first down here. We will see if they can get this. Okay, they circled the wrong guy, I think, for that play. Oh, Dallas is somehow going to win. I already know it. I don't know if it's this week or next week. They're going to pull off a random win. It might be next week when it doesn't matter, because that's basically what happened last year, is they pulled off 2 wins when it literally didn't matter. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose this week, then win next week when nobody thinks it's going to happen. They end up screwing everything up. Even this week, I could see it. Do they not have another angle of that one? They're challenging for like an unnecessary roughness after the play with face mask throwing his helmet off. They show the one replay, that's it, really? Minute 54 left in the half. What? Why are you rewinding Butler? Oh my god, bro. Fox is bugging out right now. They even changed the colors. Oh man, somebody really messed up there. They're gonna deny the challenge. DC gets screwed in another challenge. Oh, that's great. DC's gonna lose the challenge, so they lose their another timeout, which really doesn't matter for them that much. Orlando's gonna have a shot to try and score this with 2 minutes left in the end of the half. I would, but I'm gonna be at the game. Last year I was able to stream the championship because I stayed, but since I'm going to the game, I can't really stream it. Oop, didn't mean to hit that. 4th and 23. Gonna be punting this. We'll see what they can do here. Orlando, again, 2 minutes in the UFL. Clock stops and first downs. Is more than enough time to score a touchdown. Especially if you get a good return here. Ball's going to be at about the 20, up to the 25. Cuts inside to the 30. Breaks attack, cutting back outside. And he ends up getting about 2 yards. He ended up wasting about 7 seconds. With 7 seconds worth 2 yards. But we'll see what they can do here. They're already close-ish to field goal range. Or about like 35 yards away from field goal range. We'll see. 3 touchdown passes to 2 completions. Oh my god. Show up to the game I set up. Oh my god. Well, we'll see how that ends up going. Might be able to get some good pictures. Depends if I can get some past stuff. But yeah, going to DC twice this year. Again, I'm just saying, it really shows how much I hated driving to St. Louis because I'm going to DC twice this year within a 3-month span, and I do not want to even go to St. Louis twice in 2 years. Ball is snapped. Plummer looks to the middle of the field, throws it. It's going to be caught for the first down, and then some. It's going to be about a 14-yard reception. So only going to use about like 8-9 seconds. Really good. Yeah, you just can't do these short passes. You have to get first down, stop the clock. If you're going to do a middle of the field, do it quick, call a spike, and unlike Perez, actually spike the damn ball instead of either not snapping it or throwing an interception on a fake spike. Ball snap, quick throw over the middle. It is going to be, incomplete. Roland almost had that. They would have been forced to do a quick play, but where they are, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. But in the end, it's an incompletion. 2nd and 10, Orlando. Second and 10. Minute and 20 seconds left. Let's see what happens here. In shotgun, 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Pressured. Oh, he's going to take a sack, and he's going to lose about 9 yards in the play. That might take it to the end of the half. We'll see what Orlando wants to do here. DC does have a timeout. They did not cross midfield, so they could still punt. And even then, because of the rule within 2 minutes, they can still punt no matter what. Probably just going to do a rush play here. We'll see. In the second half, DC can turn up. I think DC is probably going to switch the quarterback. Spencer has not been good today. He had 1 big throw and has been bad overall. That is essentially now 5 quarters of weak quarterback play. Your season is dying. You traded for Bean. You better use him. Ball is snapped, throws it over the middle. It is caught, and it's going to be out of 3 yards. It's a fumble! They're calling it down? Calling it down, so... DC should call timeout here. If they don't, that's really questionable. Mainly just post that videos. DC should be calling a timeout. Well, it's technically incompletion, so it should stop the clock anyway, but with Matt McCrane, DC could do something. If they get a decent punt return, they could. Again, 35 seconds. Technically, it's going to be more like 27. Even 27 is enough, because if you view each play as about 7 seconds to get a first down, that gives you about 3 plays to get into field goal range. With Matt McCrane, you basically just get to about the 43. Technically, the 44-yard line is probably good. Even the 45 is good enough. So if you can get to just the 45-yard line, you'll be in field goal range. So DC should be playing for, a field goal. There is a flag. Turn at the 7. Gets to the 10. Cuts inside. the 15, and he's going to be down about the 17-yard line. Orlando Storm, my gosh. So so we'll see what the flag is. It looks like he's going to be on DC, maybe? Nope, on the kicking team. So DC gets another 5 yards. This is a big break for them. Like I said, you have Matt McCrane, one of only 2 kickers to make a 60-yard field goal. So you only really need to get to the 45-yard line. So with that 5 yards, you are at a pretty decent spot to be able to get that. We'll see if they go for it, but they really should. There's no reason not to. But you got 24 seconds. That's basically 3. Yep, you got about as mentioned that, Adam. You basically got 3 plays. If you do 7 seconds each, you got 3 plays to get about like 40 yards. That's doable. And Spencer better do it, because if he does it, he's probably riding the bench in the second half. 2 of 5. Oh my god, what a stat line. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Takes the handoff. Pressured, rolling to his left. He's going to throw the check down. It is caught. Gets to the 30. Gets to the 35. The 40. Out of bounds about the... Okay, they end up using a little over 7 seconds, but they did get about 15-ish yards in that play. Technically about like 16, actually. So overall, decent play. Now you got to do one more 15-yard play, and then you can go for it. You can even do like a little run play to try and move it to get it to the side McCrane wants. You've got enough time to do something here. It's just a matter of can they actually do it. We'll see. The kicking balls. Well, I mean, they got all the way up. They really only need about like 11 yards. So if you get 11 yards, you're in legit field goal range for Matt McCrane. Ball is snapped. Pressured. Throws it over the middle. And it is tipped. Oh, man, bad throw. I don't even know why I threw that one. That was literally like there were 3 guys everywhere. Should have thrown one of the checkdowns. They could have went up the field. Worst case, you call a timeout, and then you try to do an out-of-bounds throw. Lose 4 seconds. You could have easily gained at least 6 yards there. Instead, you end up gaining nothing, and you lose 4 seconds. So you basically got one play. You got one play to get in range of a field goal, or else it's Hail Mary time. It is Mike P tonight in the control booth. So let's see if they can get this. They basically need 11 yards. You could do it with 10, but you really want 11. Ball is snapped. Rolling to his right. Got a guy behind him. He's got to throw. He's going to run for it. F it, go deep. F it, go deep. This is a long kick. This would be like a 60, I think, 5-yarder. Why not? Like, honestly, why not? I mean, you could try to do an immediate quick out and then call timeout. You could do that. Are they going to go for the kick? I think they're sending McCrane out. It's going to be a long one. This is going to be a long one. Yeah, 3rd and 3. I know. Like saying, I don't know who's worse. Oh, Dean Blandino or Mike P. Oh, man. Whichever one's calling against your team. They're going to go for the kick here. Showing Matt McCrane. Showing the 4-point field goal from earlier this year. Last week at St. Louis, really, they literally just put a graphic from like a few weeks ago. Last week at St. Louis, I guess they played him 3 times this year. I guess they played him 3 times. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? So let's see if he makes this kick. If he makes this kick, this turns it into a 7-point game. If, remember, UFL 60-yard field goals are... It's a 67-yard kick! No good. He does not make it. It was not good. Yeah, last week was great. Like I said, lost a few... I mean, I get it. A quick out would have been a bit tough, but 4 seconds could have done it. I don't even think they had the leg. I don't think that was deep enough either, sadly. But it's a 11-point game. DC is losing. Let's see. I do believe that means DC gets the ball, though, right? Yes, Orlando got the ball first. So DC is going to be getting the ball at half. So it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. Overall stats. Yeah, you need to go on the bench. This guy, he needs to ride the bench. What is that? Literally one deep throw, and that's his entire stat line, basically. Egregious. When people say they don't like passer rating, this is why they talk about passer rating. Because this stat right here. Like, imagine saying that he's got that passer rating for this performance tonight. Versus the Storm. Damn, he's got almost a perfect passer rating. That's almost perfect. He's, like, so close to it. Look at that. 35, 41, 62. Yes, you know, one of those is a lot of yak, but still. Crazy. We're not getting enough of that. Yeah, Sanders should have dove for it. He went out too early. He did exactly what Jason Bean did. Time to get on the bench. And Green mentioned it. And while on TV, it's going to be bleed. Oh my gosh. Let's see. The Mets lose. Classic. That's a classic right there. Let's see. Not seeing anything else. About nothing else. Are we getting another new post? Let's see what this one new post is. Oh, this literally what I reposted. Okay. He throws an interception when he enters. Oh my god, that'd be terrible. On the first this time. Let's see what the scores are. Still 1-0 in the Avalanche game. It is 54-50. We're still not even at half. Man, the Spurs. SGA is still sub 50% on shooting. Victor is only at 10 points on the day. Free throws, it's basically even. Rebounds is literally even. All three rebound stats. Assists are in favor of OKC. Steals is in favor. Oh, turnovers. Oh, I didn't bother to check. How many does Castle have? Only one. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Man, De'Aaron Fox is like, I mean, he's got 2 turnovers, but he's overall probably looking like their best player. I use one for, yeah, the background. Green screen is definitely cool to add. Just, man, it's still crazy what happened. Every time the stream, when the Spurs play, they lose. Really? That's actually crazy. That's true. If that's true, that's actually crazy. And I did not realize that. But if that is real, that's hilarious. That's actually funny as hell. Mm. Mm. Ah. Take that. Go over there. The Showboats Uni would be tough. Beating the Showboats Uni, oh no. The Showboats, what a team. The United Bowl. We'll see. No, we'll see how the United Bowl goes. One team left standing, and it won't be the Aviators. Oh, I mean, I just don't throw much shade on the Aviators, but I mean, like, come on, man, they deserve it. This team is rough. They're rough this year for sure. Keep forgetting today's Friday. I don't know why. I keep thinking like today's like middle of the week, and I really don't know why I think that. They're showing the trailer. Mike Rapoli. Man, is this really gonna be a... Oh, please just don't be a show about glazing Rapoli. It might be. Austin Reed. Oh no, not Austin Reed. Showing the new trailer right now. That's what they got on right now. Oh, was that a Neville touchdown? Oh, that hurts. Isn't out for the year. And former players. Ties to their cities, and they show Rick Neuheisel. It is so weird how they travel on the same plane together. That really is so weird they do that. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but they be spending money, time, and resources into this. Meanwhile, people still can't buy jerseys at the shop. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm just saying. Not trying to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. Still can't buy jerseys on the shop. We are in May 22nd, and you still can't. They did not just put that clip of Todd Haley saying that. I did not just hear that on my TV. There's so much bleeping. Oh my god. There's so much bleeping in this. Fourth and goal. ESPN2, May 22nd at 8 p.m. That is in 5 days. And the UFL YouTube channel. That's a good one. Handcliffe went for yelling at AJ. Dude, that's great. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's great. That's gonna be. Oh man, it's great. That's actually great. Oh my god. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. That's what we call beautiful. That's beautiful right there. Mhm. Let's see what the score is in the NBA game. Thunder are leading by 7 now. Oh no. For yelling at AJ is great. That's cinema. Looks like an Avengers movie poster. Okay, what's trending on Twitter now? Spurs are number 2, Wemby 4. Caruso! What is Caruso doing? I have no idea. I'll be there no matter what. Oh my gosh. I don't want to see any Mbappe post. Alright, well, right before halftime starts, I'm going to go use the restroom right before this starts. I'll be back in a second. back just in time. Oh, please don't tell me I just knocked my mic over. Okay, no, I didn't. Good, good, good. Okay, well, we back. Okay. So stream key default. Yeah, it should be default stream. 5 new posts. Wednesday. Such a weird day to do that, but time possession almost equal, but yeah. Okay, let's see. That's your CPU. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Look at some random stuff on here. It looks like Bean might be coming in, I hope. I would hope, at least. But we'll see. Let's see. Wow, I did get back here just in time. So the kick is going to be up for Orlando. Let's see what DC can do here. Again, they are down by 11 right now, with obviously 1/2 to go. Again, win, they make the playoffs. If they lose, Orlando could clinch the 1 seed, but they do clinch home field advantage for at least the first game of the playoffs. Well, naturally, the only game of the playoffs. Return is up to the 10, the 15, the 20, gets the 25, the 30. Ooh, down to about the 32-yard line. That's the $1 million question. What was the point of the trade? I don't even know. Because that's what I said. Like, you traded away your backup, who not only was your backup, it's important to remember this, who has experience starting for your team. I get it was, last week of the season, like week and a half, but who actually started for your team. So it really does not make sense why they did it. It's definitely looking like just worse and worse every single game we go on that he's not playing. And he's still not coming in. So you're just still rocking, Mr. Sanders, who has been, let's just say, not good. It hasn't been good. I don't know. I think it's really stupid. I agree. It's a stupid decision to trade him. Because it's like I said, you traded a QB2 for QB3. That's stupid. They hand the ball off. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain. I wouldn't be shocked if this is the last drive. I could see this being them doing like one of those, you get to play until you suck in the second half, because we have seen that in the past where it's something like that. You basically get like one drive to see like, okay, well, can you keep it up, or like not keep it up because he hasn't done anything. Can you do a bit better than what you were doing? And if not, then you're benched. I would not be shocked if that's the case. In shotgun, 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Is that going to be free play? Oh, they're going to say unimpeded to the quarterback, so it should be a false, or should be an offside. I don't know. Not sure for what, though. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. They're saving him for something. You know what? They're saving him for the next game. They're saving him week 10. They're saving him for the last game of the season. Or it's like, I forgot, who was that coach that lost a playoff game because he held a timeout, and then people joked saying he was saving his timeout for next year? That's basically what he's doing. He's saving it for next year. That's beyond recognition. 2nd and 3 in shotgun. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Fake the handoff, and he throws to the right. First down, and he gets about 4 extra yards, so it's going to be an 8-yard gain. I missed anything on X? There's more people. Ball is snapped. They throw it over the middle. It is caught, and he gets tackled at about the first down exactly. I am not going to upgrade to premium Twitter. That is not happening. Unless I'm going to be paid a ton of money from it. No. Wonder Man. Dallas was technically losing before they traded him. I think we're on a 2-game skid before they traded him. They rush up the middle. It's going to be a half-yard gain with forward progress, I believe is what they're going to call that. So it should still be 3rd down, but probably going to be 3rd and a half. So we'll see. Already 2.5 minutes gone by in this quarter. I do think this is probably a touchdown or bust drive for Spencer. I think that if he doesn't get this, he should be benched. At least he should be. Because, man, that Mike Dillihill trade is looking worse and worse. Because apparently the trade deadline did pass. Apparently there was a deadline. Granted, nobody knew what it was, but apparently it did pass. And so, he kind of cooked there. And cut the black magic out. 3rd and 1. They didn't really give him any yards. Should be a false start. That really should have been or not false start. Yeah, delay of game. There it is. That was pretty egregious. That was like 3 seconds past the clock. But DC is going to use a timeout there. Honestly, I'm okay with that one. I'm okay with that timeout. Usually I hate it, but because you're at 3rd and 1, you have to go for it on 4th down. I'm actually okay with that one because you have to go for it. I don't think that was a bad timeout. Very rare time where like I said, 90% of times when coaches call a timeout on like a delay of game, they're stupid for doing it. That's the 10%. That was a smart play. That was a smart timeout there. Sup, T-Dog? Yeah, the defenders are looking a little weak right now because they keep putting out Spencer Sanders. They need to go to Jason Bean, but they won't. Crazy. But hey, even with a loss, they could still clinch a playoff berth this week, which is hilarious but true. They could clinch a playoff spot with a loss. 3rd and 1 for the DC Defenders. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, and they get the 1st down and about like half yard extra. Nope, Bean did not start, and we assumed he would come out in the 2nd half because Spencer Sanders was not looking good, and it is still Spencer Sanders. I am now under the belief that he is probably in like a 1 bad drive and you're getting pulled scenario, but we'll see. Pick 6, oh my god. I gotta love that. I love that members badge because it's hard to see, but like if you can tell what that badge is, it's literally the Perez pick 6 from last year, which is great. I was gonna or fake spike 6 the better way. In shotgun, ball snapped. Throws it deep to the right. It is incomplete, right in his hands. That should have been a 6-yard reception, then some. I think I have heard that too. It's just a matter of actually getting to a point where you get paid out is bad. But it's like once you do, you get so much because you can just keep posting and get good reactions. It's crazy. Like I think that one dude that did like the Podzidski account got like so much money from that one tweet just because it kept getting brought up every time pods didn't hit 30. And so he made some bread off it. Second and 10 for the defenders. 11 minutes. There's a Storm player down now. Deion Jennings. And let's go over here. 8 new posts. We're basically playing to lose. Oh no. Second and 10 for the defenders. I want to see 6 teams end up at 5-5. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. That would be great because you know that the teams that missed the playoffs are gonna come up with all this BS about how they got robbed, how they need to change the system, like the Battlehawks a couple of years ago in 23. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. 2nd and 10. Kings are gonna be like, we had this win streak, we should have made the playoffs. Ball is snapped. Spencer Sanders looks in the middle field, looks to the left. Rolling to his left now. Gets to the 40, the 35, and he slides, and he's going to be down 35. They're going to call it. Are they really going to throw a flag for that? I don't know. There is a flag. We'll see what that is, though. I know the QB from DC seems kind of flat. It's definitely looking weird for DC. Like, I know what you mean. This game, it's like... It just ain't looking good for him. Like I said, they really need to go Jason Bean. Spencer Sanders, just something about it. It's like, eh. Holding on the offense. Okay, so they're just throwing a flag on the offense, okay. Then Rapoli adds another one playoffs on a Wednesday. Oh my god. Don't give him ideas. Don't give him ideas, Carr. He might actually do it. That's a correct call. He hit him in the shoulder first. That's a correct call. It's a no call. Even if he had a challenge, you should not overturn that. That is a correct call. He was already in the motion before he started sliding. The first initial contact was to the shoulder, then it was to the head. That is the correct call to not be that. That is holding. He held his shoulder pad. It's a weaker hold, but it's still a hold like that. That's not like an aggressive call. I think that was the right penalty overall. Ball is snapped. Deep throw to the right. And it is incomplete. It was too deep to the right because it went out of bounds. And it's going to be 3rd and 20 for the defenders. And they do have to go for this. Even though they are past the 50, you know, the other way, they still have to go for it because they were at one point beyond the 50. So they are kind of cooked there. What is the scores of the game? It is still 1-0 in that game. It is 60 to 53 in that game. Look at that deep throw. Great throw. Just too far out of bounds. Yeah, showing Ty Sky right there. That's definitely one that's kind of rough because you don't have to get a first down there. You need 20 yards at that point. You just need to get at least 15, and that would have been like upwards of 18. Definitely a bad call, but. And the play clock is up then. They better not be calling a timeout here. No, you didn't. You know how I said that was a good timeout use in the last time? That's a waste. That's a stupid timeout. You're at 3rd and 20. 3rd and 25 is not that big a difference. It is not worth using a second timeout in the first 6 minutes of the game for that. That's a bad timeout call. F it. Play in playoffs. Oh my god, he might actually do that. Have you seen? I think I heard about it, but I didn't see for sure. Yes, I did see that. It's going to be pretty cool to see. Literally, we have an actual Super Bowl halftime performer. I get he was a guest star, but we have an actual guy that performed at a Super Bowl halftime show performing at a UFL halftime show. That's crazy. Think about it. 2 years ago, we had Marquette King as the halftime show performance. I'm just saying. That was the UFL halftime performance, was Marquette King when I went. And now I get to see 50 Cent. That's crazy. 3rd and 20 for the defenders. Better get this conversion if you wasted a timeout on it. Pass over the middle. It is caught. And they do a little pitch to the 40. It's going to be a great play, but you're still now about 7 yards shy of the first down marker. Still a good 13-yard play. Good play, but still got to get the first down. I guess you could kick the 4-point field goal here, but probably not going to. Ooh, they might. Yeah, they're going to go for the kick here, it looks like. We'll see if he makes this. Eagles 50-cent United ball. I mean, for the UFL, yeah, I mean, we had Marquette King. I forgot who it was last year, but we had Marquette King in 2024. Okay. Granted, was that a better performance than DJ Khaled? Probably. But still. 4th and 7. They're going to go for the 56-yard attempt. It is up. It is looking good. Does it have the leg? Yes, it does. It is good. That is going to be 21-13. Orlando over DC with 8.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, you take that. If you're DC, you do take that. Hey, even if you took him out of there, that was a performance that nobody is gonna ever say, let's go look back on that one. It's gonna be remembered for put your hands in the air, make some noise, and that's the whole performance. It's so unhappy wasted 2 times. Yeah, that is terrible. You used 2 timeouts in that drive. You got 3 points, but you cost you 2 timeouts, and you still have over 20 minutes left in the game. Oh, that's the worst part. You got 20 minutes left in the game, and you have terrible. That's terrible. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's so bad. That is so bad. It really is. Okay, I said to control C this, and then I'm going to control V it over here. Actually, I'm going to do it over here. What in the heck? Oof, it's gone up. Okay. Mm. Mm. Let's look at this while we're in commercial break. Look at some random stuff. 360. Oh no. Yeah, no, I'm good. Let's see over here. Production needs to go for halftime stats. That was good, but bad at the same time. I mean, if you have a pull 50 cent a year, wouldn't be shocked if it's Snoop. Okay. Let's not get a little ahead of ourselves. Okay, let's not get too far ahead. I mean, it's nice we got, but let's not go too far ahead. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, you know. So let's chill a little bit. Let's just chill a little bit real quick. You know, as the saying goes, you know, Ben Simmons is here, whatever. Classic. That's such a classic clip. The Ben Simmons clip, that's an iconic clip. Man, imagine if you were watching, you know, The Herd with Colin Cowherd live, and then you saw that clip, you know, him saying, LeBron, like Ben Simmons is here. Oh my god. That's such an infamous clip. It's great. I don't think there's any clip better than that. Return is up to the 20. The 25 gets out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Hmm. Okay. The mental side of the game. DJ Khaled had the worst halftime performance in the UFL. Oh yeah, I would agree. That was the worst for sure. Pass is thrown over the middle. It's caught by. Ooh, he drops it. It was almost a great catch by Rowe in the middle of the field. Instead, he dropped it. 2nd and 10 for the Storm. That was bad. That was Jason Bean. We're good. Spencer Sanders. Yeah, we need to send Spencer Sanders to the bench right now. We used 2 timeouts. You couldn't even get a touchdown. You barely got a field goal. You got lucky that you got a field goal. It took you 2 timeouts, and that's bad. That's really bad. We can't do that. 2nd and 10 now. Ball is snapped. Hands it off. Gets about 3 yards in the carry. 3rd and 7 for the Orlando Storm. If DC is able to stop him here and get a quick 3 and out, that will be huge for them. For, you know, natural reasons. Obviously natural reasons, but see if they can do it. 7.5 minutes left. Halfway through the 3rd quarter officially now. 2 receivers at the far bottom of your screen, one a bit higher up that looks to be Chris Rowland, and then you got one guy at the very top of your screen that you can see. Ball is snapped. Plummer is pressured. He's rolling. He's throwing it to the left. It is caught wide open. Chris Rowland, but he falls down, gets to the 50 anyway. Going to be down to the 50. Still a great play. He was wide open. Plummer was able to see him get that. Great one. I would probably. I don't know if they put Bean in, maybe not. But if they keep Sanders in, probably that if they score a touchdown, I'd say touchdown. Field goal, I think it's still very much within reach. 11 points is not too extreme. But if they're able to score a touchdown, get to 28-13, that's a 15-point game at that point. Then I feel like there's a good likelihood the Storm win. Touchdown and an extra point, it's probably game over unless they put Bean in. Even then, it's probably game over. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Cuts to the left, and it's going to be about a 2-yard loss. Mm. 5 receptions for the show. Oh my god, Chris Rowland's stats is so bad. That's terrible. That is terrible to look at. They throw it. It is caught by, I believe that was Elijah Badger. Yes, it was. And that's going to be a pretty decent, like 15, 20-yard gain right there. This is looking bad for DC right now. There is a flag. Let's see what the flag is. Could be offense. Nope, roughing the passer. Oh my gosh. The black jerseys are back. Yeah, I like how they did use the orange for 2 games and not just one. I think it's probably going to be like whenever they can use them on the away, they're going to use them. And then when it's home during the day, they're going to use it. I like the idea of using them a couple times a year. I would hope that other teams do it. Like I said, could you imagine they don't say anything and the gamblers just come out on, Sunday at home in the Jim Kelly night and they're wearing the OG Houston Gamblers jerseys? Could you imagine how cool that would be? That would be sick. 1st and 10 for the Orlando Storm. The OG logo, have the OG, because I'm pretty sure they have the rights for that now. That'd be cool as hell. Or even just the 2022 UFL was close enough. They rush for about 3 yards. Yeah, based on DC's, yeah, probably. We'll be there, would love it. Oh, you're going to be there, Carr? Going to get the Jim Kelly bobble? That's sick. That's going to be cool. 2nd and 7 for the Oilers. There's like 2 bobbler giveaways this week. Or there's 3, because I think Louisville's might be Chris Redmond this week, right? I think it might be this week. Yeah, there might be 3 this week, which is crazy. 2nd and 7 for the Orlando Storm. 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. Motioning one from the bottom up to the backfield, now to the right. Gonna rush to the left. Just used a bit of misdirection. It's gonna be about a 4-yard gain for the Orlando Storm. 3rd and 3. They're also eating up a decent amount of clock. Even with the big play, they're still eating up a decent amount. If they're able to make this down to like 3 minutes in the quarter, that'd be pretty good. We'll see. Current drive, 4 minutes. Like, literally, as I was talking about it. It's not like a Columbus 8-minute drive, but this is still a really solid drive, especially when you consider the deep plays. Pretty good one. 3rd and 3. Motioning, rolling to the top of your screen, fake the handoff, and they end up pitching it back. Ended up being the wrong call. Honestly, just great play by DC. Forcing the field goal. Great play overall. Plummer really should have thought about throwing that away if he could, but yeah. Oh, it's next week for the Archie giveaway. Okay. Gamblers and all red. Oh, that'd be something else. That would be something else. But overall, though, solid play by the defense. They were able to fully capitalize on all of that, so it's going to force the field goal. Like I said, I don't think a field goal makes this an over game. I think that, touchdown arguably would have ended it, but this doesn't, so big for Orlando right there, or big for DC to stop that. And Lance's got to make this. He hasn't been perfect. This is a short kick, but this is an extra point, which he has missed before. And he doesn't miss this one. It is good. It is 24-13 now. 24-13 now. Offside to the defense. Wow, I arguably would have accepted it and gone for it, honestly. Arguably, I would have accepted it and gone for it, but it's okay. Take the points. Is what it is. You take the points, solid. Just, I arguably would have gone for it. I would have been like, yeah, maybe go for it. F it, go deep sort of moment, but hey. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Okay, just keep looking at stuff. I think my 2022 get worn should have worn red. Everybody else, everything. Oh my god, so many red jerseys. That was something else, dude. 2022 USFL. One of the biggest things they did that sucked was that every damn jersey was red. They couldn't do anything other than red. They had to do red, 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 red. It was crazy. I mean, man, it was the stars were red, the bandits were red. It was crazy. Jason Me doesn't get it, and then DC doesn't win. Probably true. I like I've said, Spencer Sanders is not looking to be that guy for this game. You definitely should be benching him. Not trying to be mean when I say it, but like, some guys got to ride the bench for at least for a little bit. We'll see. But we'll see. I just realized Memorial Day, man. I really wish Memorial Day was like last week or the next week, man. Because like I was saying, I forgot to mention the other thing I need to get is I have like 3 fans on the way for this case. It's not enough to like fill the case, but naturally, if you know anything about PCs, you don't really need like 40 fans on a case. But I need to have some exhaust fans. So like I've got to wait for those to get here, and because of Memorial Day, I'm probably not going to get them till like Thursday or Friday or Wednesday or something like that. Like I'm currently like estimated is like probably Wednesday, which would be good enough, I guess. Like if I can get everything done Wednesday, that'd be sick, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Then at some point I gotta upgrade my monitor. That's a distant upgrade. Though you know what? Big W for all you guys. Wouldn't be able to do most of this without it. Short. Why are they still showing Teamu in these? Like I get they made these like pre-done, but they showed like Teamu like 4 times in that. That's so sad. 42 new second 100-yard game. Yeah, Chris Rowland might be coming your OPOY this year. That I will say because that was a legit race that nobody was really like winning to that degree. Probably winning it today. Hmm. Orlando. Mike Rapoli. They're showing Rapoli again. DC, if I remember correctly, it's something along the lines of Louisville winning, I believe. I think it's actually Louisville wins and Birmingham loses. I believe it's that. If that happens, I think they clinch, even with the loss today. Whereas St. Louis, they have to win. There's no other way for them to clinch. DC gets the return up to about the 44-yard line. Great return right there by Xavier Valade. There is a flag. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Birmingham loses, Louisville wins, because I think there's a weird way where Dallas can somehow get above DC based on like a weird tiebreaker stuff. I think it's something stupid like that, but I believe that's how it is. Louisville wins, Birmingham wins, or Birmingham loses. That means DC clinches the playoff spot. Because then it means that no matter what, DC will make it because they'll make it above Birmingham, and Louisville obviously is already going to be ahead of them, so then they'll get the 4 seed in that regard. Like that's the thing. DC has a really easy way of overall making the playoffs because, like, for the next 2 weeks, they have ways to get in based on other teams losing, which is the one thing that St. Louis doesn't have. Purely because one of the teams that can beat them out is Houston, which is why if they beat Houston, then, you know, they're cooked. Like, Houston's cooked, and then St. Louis makes it. So, yeah. 1st and 10 for the DC Defenders. It is still Spencer Sanders. Yep, St. Louis has to win. That is the only way they clinch this week is with a win. Though with a win and I believe DC losing, they can clinch a home field advantage spot this week with Orlando. If Orlando wins, they clinch home field. If Orlando wins and St. Louis loses, Orlando clinches the 1 seed. Catch is about a 7-yard reception. And technically Birmingham can clinch. It's just not going to happen because this game had to go a different way. But Birmingham technically can clinch this week still, which is crazy, but they could. 2nd and 2 for the DC Defenders. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. Sanders rushes to the right. Gets to the 40, the 45, and goes out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Should have stayed in bounds. Okay, I had no see for the team that loses the United Bowl. And it's I mean, like, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's the biggest deal. I think it's sort of like one of those things where it just sort of happens to be that way, right? Like the USFL, you ended up having the first year, it was what the Stars ended up losing. I think it's just one of those where it just sort of happens to be. It is true that if you make it and lose, it's different because if you win a championship, it's really hard to justify moving you as a champion without it looking bad. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain. But I don't think it's too bad. Now, I will say, if Birmingham makes it, loses, and then gets moved, that would really show it's a curse. But I'm not too worried about it unless it happens again. Because specifically for the UFL, right, the saying is 3 times, right? 1 time it happens, twice the coincidence, 3 times the trend. If it happens for a 3rd straight year, then that's a real trend. Because you do have the XFL technically was in between. It was 2, then 1, then 2, if you want to be technical. Or no, it was actually 1, 1, 3, my bad, but still. Still. Points the things. 2nd and 8, ball is snapped. Deep throw to the left. It is going to be incomplete. Kind of looked like Scott didn't know exactly where it was coming down and didn't get it. Oh, yeah, Louisville being safe from elimination is a big deal. Because technically, Louisville can overtake DC. Like, they don't have to overtake Birmingham. That's why I've always said if Louisville wins out and misses the playoffs, they got really unlucky. If they won out starting from last week, there's almost a guaranteed shot they make the playoffs. Because either Birmingham or hell, even St. Louis, Birmingham, and DC, one of those teams is gonna, fall. That's why Louisville was basically winning in if they win out. Try to throw it to, I believe it was Fairchild. It's going to be a bit too high. It's going to be incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 8. No, that was not Fairchild. It's going to be 4th and 8 for the DC defenders. Depending exactly where they have him spotted, they might be forced to go for this. Because they call him at the 50, so we'll see. Go to Louisville. They got to win out. If they win out, they'll make the playoffs. Like I said, if they miss the playoffs winning out, they got really, really unlucky. 4th and 8 for the DC defenders. Looks like they are going to be able to punt here, so they're going to punt. Yeah, they're calling him like right behind the 50. Now this is the point where if Orlando scores, basically game over. Even if they kick a field goal, I think this is probably game over. They're going to fake it. DC's faking it. They're going to rush. The punter's running for it, and he gets taken down at the 49-yard line, and they don't get it. They really tried that, and they don't get it. Oh, it's rough. I believe that's the second fake this year. The first one, I believe, was successful and then didn't amount for money. But there is a flag here. Could this be unnecessary roughness on the defense? Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Paxton Brooks went for it and didn't get it. They're looking for a flag on Orlando. I'm hearing unnecessary roughness being thrown around. Oh, it sounds like it's going to be Orlando's ball. After the play. So Orlando's going to lose 10 yards, but it's after it, so it's just going to be sort of like a mini punt anyway. Same record. St. Louis clinches. Birmingham will be the team out of the playoffs with Louisville getting the 3rd seed. Really? Man, the tiebreakers are weird as hell. Because Louisville doesn't have tiebreak over Birmingham. So, that's right. Because then I think it becomes a 3-way tie technically. Because DC is, it's like rock, paper, scissors. So, and then I think it goes to, that's right. It goes to the 3rd thing, right? Because then they're tied, and then it goes to like strength of victory, I would assume. And that's where Louisville has the edge because they beat DC. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense because if that's the case, head-to-head literally means nothing. That means the head-to-head does not exist for those 3 teams because if they're all in that triangle, like, water, grass, fire, that means that doesn't matter. So then it comes strength of victory. Louisville beat DC twice. In theory, that would put them above Birmingham because Birmingham would have wins over Houston in theory. Pass thrown to the left. It's going to be about a 4-yard gain. Even then, well, Louisville, I know, it still feels weird. I think that might also be determined on how they get the same record. Because in theory, they'd have to be at 5 losses. So I think it depends who they lose to. I think it would have to depend who they lose to. I would assume, but I don't know for sure. And as the end of the 3rd quarter, it is a 11-point lead for Orlando over DC right now. Nobody knows what they're watching. I'm not going to look at this. Okay. Notifications. Okay. Trending. Spurs, come on, get close. Spurs are number 1 on trending. Caruso, still trending. Yeah, dude, imagine if Caruso was still in the Lakers. On not winning, that's a crazy bet. DC beat Birmingham, so Birmingham went over Louisville, wouldn't matter. That's how they would do that? That's actually hilarious if that's how it would go. Because I would think it would have to be the other way, because I'm pretty sure isn't that like how it worked with, like, let's say, Panthers versus Buccaneers, because they were both tied in head-to-head? But if you have like a three-way tie, shouldn't it then just be like, head to head, head to head, head to head? Because like I would assume that's how it should go. Because like I know technically, so they didn't play them twice, but like if you beat a team, like if you have the head to head over a team, like it should be like that. I don't know. I feel like that's more so strength of victory. Because if that is the case, then they got to change that. Because that doesn't make sense. Like because when you think about it, it's like Pokemon. It's like fire, water, and grass. Right? One is super effective on the other, and it's in a triangle. Because then you can also say that Birmingham beat Louisville, right? Birmingham beat Louisville. Louisville beat DC, so DC their win over Birmingham shouldn't matter. Like you could technically do the same thing in that way because they beat DC twice. I mean, technically, 1-0 is the same as 2-0. Technically, I don't know. It's weird. They need to announce it firmly because it's sounding like it doesn't make sense technically speaking because you're going against the point of head to head. Technically doing that. Let's see tiebreakers. No, I don't want to see this AI dribble. Let me get the post. Oh, I thought they were showing the odds for the championship. I thought somebody was at minus 130. But I say, how the hell is somebody minus 130 this year? And I clicked on the wrong post. I literally did this earlier today when I was looking at posts. I literally clicked the wrong one. There it is, playoff picture. And I clicked the wrong one again. Did they not post the tiebreaker scenarios? Okay, thanks UFL. Why is Pete Alonso trending? What did he do? Nothing again? I think he's been rough this year, if I remember correctly. Pete Alonso. 228. Oh my god. That might be considered good this year, technically. Baseball, it's terrible. In terms of how people count that. Gonna be, there's only one over the one, so Psychic versus Dark versus fighting. I mean, hey, a little bit different. Psychic doesn't work on Dark. Little bit different. I mean, yeah, but a little bit different. Yeah, publish rules. Yeah, it would be nice if they publish the rules, because then we know how the challenges work, since apparently you can't challenge pre-snap penalties, even though you could for the last 2 years. 2nd and 5, ball is snapped. They hand it off, and they get taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Good play by DC's defense. Third and 4 for Orlando. If they're able to get this first down, they could really, Rocker says, I literally, I love how I'm just thinking about Pokemon, so I'm just doing fire, paper, fire, grass, and water. Gotta love that. 3rd and 4. Ball is snapped. Pressured, rolling, and he gets taken out. It's only going to be a 2-yard gain, so it's going to force the punt for Orlando. Big for DC right there. Because, like, in theory, 2-0 should not be viewed as more impactful than 1-0. Because then it's like I said at the beginning of the year. Then you're really making it about the schedule and not about how good your team was. Because if you're 1-0, it should be treated as the same as 2-0 in a technical sense. Aside from strength of victory, that's where it should count as being different. And if that gives the tiebreaker to, let's say, Louisville over Birmingham, then that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, then that makes perfect sense because, in theory, at that point, you having 2 wins over a 5-5 team versus, like, let's say, a 2-8 Columbus team. I get it. Turn to the 15, and it's going to be down to 15, or technically 16. It's weird, man. Hopefully it actually gets easy. Hopefully Columbus, well, I don't want to say hopefully, but hopefully it becomes simple. Which we'll see. Yeah, I mean, the whole issue is how do they judge it? Because, like, in theory, you having a 2-0 record should not be treated as different than 1-0, because that means that head-to-head shouldn't matter. That should make it a wash, because all 3 beat each other. So then that should make it into margin of, or strength of victory as the second tiebreaker. And if that would be the case, Birmingham probably gets in first, because the only way this happens is if they're all 5-5. I believe. I think that's how it has to be. Is they have to all be 5-5. So if they're all 5-5, that means that Birmingham has the lone win over Orlando. I do wonder if they do that. I wonder if they would do a three-way head-to-head. Honestly, that's not... They might use that. When St. Louis, Orlando, and DC were tied. Well, at that point last week, St. Louis had beaten DC once, and they had beaten Orlando. So they technically were tied with DC, and they had to head. So it's a little different because they were tied with DC, whereas this week they're straight up ahead of them. And I think it might have been strength of victory as well, because DC at that point, they hadn't beaten Orlando yet. Their wins were a Houston team, Columbus, St. Louis once, so they both had the win over each other with the same record. Orlando had beaten Birmingham once. Birmingham had a better record. Even then, that still might have been based on strength of victory. I don't know what the strength of victory was. That might have still been strength of victory at that point. Because St. Louis would have had the head-to-head over Orlando, so they would have had the head-to-head edge. But then if it became Orlando, DC, and they didn't play each other, that would have been strength of victory. And Orlando having a win over Birmingham, Columbus, 2 on the Kings, and they had the win over Houston because their losses were to St. Louis and Birmingham. I think that I gotta see. I can't remember exactly what the records are, but that might have also been strength. I don't know. It's weird. This could be like 2023 XFL where the Dragons Battlehawks had this really complex. They had to go to like the 4th or 5th tiebreaker to do it, where it was based on like points scored or I think it was points scored or points differential was how they got. I think it was point differential is how Seattle got in. That's why it was like they were technically not in for sure. It was something weird. It's weird because I think they did post something official and it was head to head followed by strength of victory. So I don't know. It's weird. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Throws it over the middle. It is caught at the 30, up to the 35, and it's going to be down to about the 37-yard line. 2026 season. Oh, I need to go to standings. DC Defenders, Orlando Storm heading into last week. So that'd be schedule. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff, throw it over the middle. It is caught at the 50. Going to be down at about the 50. Okay. So if you eliminate this, both had a win over Columbus. 2 wins over Louisville. Win over the Renegades. The Renegades have fallen technically at that point. I think they were already losing because I think they're 3-5 now. So they would have been 3-4. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. They rush it, and it's going to be a first down for Spencer Sanders. So week 7 it would have been. So week 7. Yeah, so Battlehawks is technically tied. Strength of victory the Kings twice. That would have been a 3-4 Kings, so that'd be equal. I don't know. It's weird as hell, man. It's a weird one. They rush about 1 yard. Was epic, yeah. Head-to-head is the first tiebreaker scenario. Birmingham lost DC, so DC has the edge, and so Kings have the edge over them. Remember the tiebreaker. Remember, swing the XFL was point differential to get the edge to Seattle. That's why St. Louis ran up the score in Orlando Gardens. They beat them like 50 yards. Still didn't get in a mismatch. Yeah, because I think it was like plus. I think it was like 70 or something stupid. They had to really run up. It was like 40 something crazy. Ball is snapped. Tiamu is gonna rush for it again. He gets about 3 yards. Yeah, I mean, but technically, Birmingham, that's what I mean. Like, it should not be based on a 2-0 record because then you're really banking on the schedule. Because if it's head-to-head, it's a 3-way tie. Unless it's like what Carr said, and they do head-to-head in a 3-way battle, then it makes sense why Birmingham or why Louisville gets him, but I don't know who gets it. Yeah, for this, it should be strength of victory. If they want to be fair, it should be based on strength of victory because head-to-head is tied. I don't view 2-0 as better than 1-0 in this specific league because it's like a division. If you play in one division, like imagine if, let's say, for whatever reason, the Panthers only played the Buccaneers once in 1 year and they played every other team twice. If you're 1-0, you did go undefeated against your division opponent. The schedule is the schedule. You can't really blame that for head-to-head. But strength of victory is different because that's based on your actual wins. So if the UFL is trying to be, a fair league, it shouldn't be based on head-to-head for those 3 teams because head-to-head is a tie. Like, it is a tie. You're all undefeated. That's a tie in my book. 2-0 is not better than 1-0 in a head-to-head comparison like that if you're using head-to-head as a tiebreaker. Because it's always supposed to be the percentage, not the number, right? It's like 3-0 is equal to 1-0, just like let's say 6-2 is equal to 3-1 if it's based on record, for like this specific thing. So then it goes to strength of victory, which in that case, I do think that it would probably be DC and Louisville to get in. Oh, no, Birmingham probably would because they beat Orlando. It depends how Orlando goes. That's what I mean. It's weird. It's weird. But if they do head to head and they end up, missing Birmingham because of that, Birmingham has the right to be pissed because that'd be bad. If it's strength of victory, you got cooked. But if it's head to head and you lose out because one team happened to play the other twice, that's sad. At least that's how I would view it. Because I don't think 2-0 should matter in head to head unless it's, 1-1's different. 3rd and 6, ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. Spencer rolls to his right, gets to the 30, gets the first down, gets to the 20, gets to the 15, the 10. There is a flag, and he's going to be down about the 7-yard line. Granted, like I said, if it's like what Carr said and you're doing the overall number, then DC would miss the playoffs because they have the worst overall head-to-head between the three of them. Which, if you do that, again, it's a bit effed up, but technically that would be fair, and that would be Birmingham and Louisville get in. It's going to be holding on Orlando, so it's going to get some extra yards for DC. DC would get a score here, make this a much closer game. If you score here, that gets you to, you probably go for 2 here to make it a 3-point game. That's what you probably should do, is go for 2. You don't want to bank on a 4-point field goal, so if you score here, go for the 2 points, try and make it a 3-point game. First and goal. $10 minutes and 40 seconds left for the DC defenders. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, cuts inside, and they're going to get the... Ooh, it's close. Should be a touchdown. That should be a touchdown, DC. That should be 24-19. They're going to call him half a yard shy. I'd QB sneak it. Just QB sneak it. You're allowed to QB sneak in this league. Do it. I know people acted like, oh, maybe you can't. No, you can. By people, I mean coaches apparently acted like you couldn't QB sneak, but yes, you can. Until they finally realized it, and they said, oh, QB sneak. QB sneak at your half yard, get the touchdown. We'll see if they do it, though. Nope, they hand it off, and they lose 3 yards. Oh, man, that's what I hate about shotgun. Did a rush play out of shotgun instead of a QB sneak. You end up losing 3 yards on the carry. Going to be a 3rd and goal. That's actually a decently long 3rd and goal. Not like super long. It's going to be like 3rd and goal from about like the 3-4 yard line. Do you go for it? Probably. Unless you lose, I would say 3 yards, you probably go for this. If it's like 3rd and goal from the 5 or shorter, I'd go for it. If it's longer, I'd kick the field goal. You still do have 9 minutes left. You are down to 1 timeout and no challenge because, again, you wasted both of them. You wasted 1 timeout. 1 timeout was a good time. The other one was just wasted. Ball snapped. Spencer Sanders is rolling, and he's sacked. Kick the field goal. Kick the field, get 3 points. Best net points. Net points. Oh, my God. That'd be hilarious to use that. Dude, at that point, just go to the World Cup and just do yellow cards. Oh, man. I love that head-to-head. That's so vague. That's so vague, just saying head-to-head. So, in that case, I would believe that technically speaking, if all 3 teams are 5-5, it should be based on strength of victory then. Because, like I said, I would assume that in theory, when you're talking about those first 2, it's based on the percentage. So, like, if you are 1-0, you're 100. If you're 2-0, you're 100. If you're 1-1, you're 500, like that. Based on that, they would all be tied. And then you would go to the strength of victory. Unless you do a 3-way head-to-head, then in that case, DC misses the playoffs. Kick is up, and it is good. Correct decision to kick the field goal there. You lost too many yards. I like that decision. Best net points is hilarious. I mean, if it's best net points, DC's getting in. Same with Louisville. Birmingham's cooked if it's best net points. Well, net points, is that supposed to be point differential? Because I don't know if they use a different term. If that's overall points scored, then that's, even if it's the other one, Louisville, yeah, either way points scored. If it's points or point differential, that's going to Louisville and DC. Wait, they can QB sneak it, so it really is so UFL. And then teams did it so much that year. Coin toss. Dude, imagine if you missed the playoffs because a coin hit heads instead of tails. Oh my God. And what if you have 3 teams tied? What if they're all tied in all those numbers? And you have to go to a coin toss? Oh my God. That would be cinema. A three-way coin toss. Do a three-headed coin somehow. No, you know what you do? You get like a little fidget spinner and you put like an arrow on it and you spin it and whichever one it lands on is what you get. That would be a great way to do that instead of a coin toss. The fidget spinner toss or whatever. Remember fidget spinners? Remember those were like the biggest thing in the world for like a year? Remember silly bands? Classic silly bands. Peak. 16 sacks this season for Orlando. Love seeing that image of Devian Smith. Because I made them, I know what all those images are. Because like some of them are obvious. Like the Todd Haley is obvious what that's supposed to be. Like that Devian Smith one, that him on the little chair is great. That's such a classic. Sitting on the chair, finding out he's getting cut for that. Remember slap bracelets? Yeah, I do. I do remember slap bracelets. I remember those were big for a little bit. Those were big for a little bit. The slap bracelets, because like especially in the good ones that would actually like go around. Because like sometimes they were slap bracelets, but they sucked. But if you had the good one, peak. Friday Night Lights and Isaiah Bugs. Orlando, they can ice this game. If Orlando scores at all, this is pretty much game over. Because if you score 3 points, technically no. If you score 3 points, you make it 27. No, that is over. If they score at all, it's probably over. Shooting fingers would be tight. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Classic game, bro. I love that. I'm pretty sure you're talking about like this one was like, you know, and then like that one. Oh, classic, bro. Kick is up. Gonna be down about the 10-yard line to the 20, 25. Tries cut inside. It's gonna be down about the 29-yard line. Let us see what the scores in the games are. The Spurs are gonna lose that game. They're down by 11. They are getting cooked. And it is 2-1 Vegas. Oh, they scored twice. Barbashev and Captain Jack and Doyorfayev. They have all the points for that game. That's crazy. 3 guys have all the points. That's crazy. That is crazy. Bro's talking about the playoff, acting like it's so simple. Yeah, you know, you could have just put a single comment if you knew what it was. Only guy in chat that doesn't care about how the playoffs format works is hilarious. In shotgun, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Ball is snapped. Throws to the left. Up to the 30. Taken down right shy of the 35-yard line. Gonna be down about the 34-ish yard line. Vegas hit from 2-point land. And apparently in the last like 10 minutes, it got 2 goals in the same line. Like I said, man, I get it was one game, but man, Vegas and Montreal looked way better than the teams they played. I mean, we all expected it to be clear cut. Colorado, Carolina combined, they might lose 2 games in this round, and we'll see if it was rust for Carolina tomorrow. But at least for Vegas, Colorado, better team might be Vegas, which is crazy to think about. Like I said, I don't think Cale Makar being there is gonna like fully change. It's gonna be a big difference. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it's gonna be that much. Leroy Glover showing him as a D-line coach right now. 8 minutes left in the game. Orlando still has all 3 timeouts and their challenge. DC only has 1 timeout and no challenge. Used and failed the challenge earlier. Used 1 timeout earlier to try, you know, get a first down, and they wasted the second one on like a 3rd and 20. But Orlando's got all 3 timeouts and their challenge left. They scored all. It's a really tough game. Right now, it's still an 8-point game, but if they can score anything, it makes it a 2-score game. In shotgun, 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen, motion the tight end as well to the bottom. 1 receiver at the top. Ball is snapped. They hand the ball off. It's going to be a first down for the Storm. It's going to be about a 5-yard carry for the Orlando Storm. Going to be about the 41-yard line in their own territory. If you're Orlando, ideally you want to end this drive at least, unless you get a touchdown. You don't care when you score if you get a touchdown. But ideally, you kick a field goal with around 4 or less minutes left in the game. At that point, it's really tough to lose that game, especially against a Spencer Sanders-led DC team. We'll see, though. In shotgun, 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom as well as your tight end. They hand it off yet again. Cuts inside. There is a flag, but it's a first down. It gets to the 45, down about the 43-yard line, though there is a flag, and where it was thrown, it might be offensive holding. We will see, though. If not, huge gain. If it is, offsides the defense was a free play. So, massive for Orlando. Almost in field goal range. They don't have, like, the longest leg kicker in the league, but they're basically about, like, 5 yards away from, like, real field goal range now. But like I said, if they're able to get to, like, 4 minutes left, kick a field goal, that's probably game over. What did I have the score being? I think I had this. I think it's a little bit too high right now. Let me see. Game 2. I had this 32-24. I mean, it's possible 32-24 could happen. It's possible. It won't because you gotta go for 2, but, never know. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Gets to the 40, and it's going to be another first down on the rush. Oh, that's crazy. They're going to be able to knock this clock down to about 6 minutes now before they snap it again a little past the 30-yard line. Jack Plummer's now 20 of 26. Like I said, he was already the clear-cut MVP heading into this week. There was nobody even challenging him, and he thoroughly nailed in the coffin. There's a very high likelihood he doesn't even play next week because they don't really need him to unless they really want the 1 seed and St. Louis wins this week. But that is your MVP, Jack Plummer, right there. They hand it off again, and it's going to be a good play by DC's defense. Going to be about a 3-yard loss for the Orlando Storm on the rush. Going to be able to snap this ball with about 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Like I said, this is so far a perfect drive. They can get another first down. Oh, man, they can really ice this clock. In shotgun yet again. Corbin, 2 Plumbers left. 2 receivers down at the bottom of your screen. Wouldn't be shocked if they do play action here. They've run the ball a lot in the last few plays. They do hand it off again, and it's going to be about a 2-yard gain for the Orlando Storm. Going to be about 3rd and 11. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they decide to run it again, it's like I perfectly said, they're going to be able to literally kick the ball with about, 3 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. So as long as they're able to as long as they don't turn the ball over and they score, this is going to be a perfect drive for Orlando, even without a touchdown. See, DC. Hey, DC, man, they might be cooked. It all depends what Orlando does next week, but even then, if Orlando plays their backups, I mean, their backup is Matt Corral. Is a very real shot they'd beat DC anyway next week. Plummer gets pressure. He throws to the right. It's going to be caught by Chris Rowland at the 30. So they're able to keep the clock moving, make it a bit easier of a kick, and they're going to be able to kick this with under 4 minutes left. But again, like I said, DC still has a lot that could happen that still gets them a playoff spot because, the same thing could be said next week. If they have a couple of games go their way next week, they can still make it. DC can still make it at 5-5. So they're not eliminated by any shot with this loss, even a loss next week technically, but, you'd rather win and control your own destiny. We'll see. I think that's Chris Rowland down right now, which is definitely not good for the Orlando Storm. Big hit right in the midsection. Yeah, he's walking off. Like I said, he's probably not going to play next week. If you're Anthony Beck, you're probably going to rest your starters next week, even if the 1 seed is available. With how the league is, I don't really know for sure if you even want, the 4 seed and the 3 seed is not going to be a huge difference. It's probably worth resting your starters for a game. They might play a drive, but I'd imagine they probably get rested next week. As long as they, don't choke this game. 47-yard field goal to make this a 2-score game. Kick is up. Ooh, he missed it. He shanked it to the left. So, DC has some life. It is still an 8-point game. They got 4 minutes left to try and do something here. They are going to have to go about 71 yards down the field to score a touchdown, but they can do it. And make it to the championship next year. Yeah, the odd rule, baby. Odd years, they're great. Even years, they suck. Or they're just mediocre. I say mediocre. They were 4-6, I believe, when they missed the playoffs a couple years ago. But yeah, definitely not looking too good for them right now. Let's go over here. Let's see the scores of the game. And it is 3-1. Vegas is up 2-0 in the series. Who scored the other goal? Tell me it was Jack Eichel again. It was Ivan Barbashev. Oh, man. Rasmus Anderson ruined it, bro. If he had let Dorofeyev get that, that'd have been great. That'd have been literally 3-1. That would have been... Ooh, no, it was just one assist. Okay, not too bad. But yeah, they still won the game, so... Yikes for the Avalanche. It would make a difference for home field advantage in St. Louis, only because St. Louis has by far the biggest and loudest fan base. Don't be loudest, technically, not like Orlando Stadium is built to be loud, and Louisville. I think really Louisville, Orlando, and St. Louis, the only teams that home field advantage would really matter all that much for. Because St. Louis, in theory, should be back to like a 25K plus. That would be really tough to play in. But Orlando and Louisville are both going to be great places if they get home field advantage. And I do believe there is a world where Louisville can get home field advantage. I just think it's really unlikely. But if they do finish 6-4, I think there is a real shot they could get it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what the attendance is for tonight's game. But Orlando definitely could get like, 10K plus easily for the playoff game, I'd assume. Yep, they literally hit over 10K. So that would be 2026 UFL season. Attendance, that means the Orlando Storm will finish with just under a 10K attendance. And more importantly, this is their second highest number of the season. Let's see. Second highest number of the year for Orlando. And it officially means they destroyed the 2023 Guardians. What was their attendance number? And they beat these Guardians sub 9K attendance average by nearly 1,000. That's pretty damn solid. The Guardians had like an 8,900. This team is going to average at about 9,900. That's a huge win for the UFL this year. Again, the expansion markets have done great, and that goes against the whole talk about like when the schedule is. The fact that even with the later schedule that Orlando fans might say hurts them, they still beat them. That's pretty good. So, hey, congrats to Orlando. Right, props to Orlando, right? The expansion markets have done really, really well in terms of attendance. Orlando, that's a great number. They officially did beat the Guardians by about 1,000 per game in total. Impressive. The Storm this year never had a single game below 8,000. The Guardians had like 2 below 8,000 as well. Ball snap, they get about 4 yards on the carry. Only one. Yeah, let me make sure I'm not yapping about this. So, one sub 9K game. Ball is thrown. They throw it to the tight end. Gets to the 40. Gets to the... Ooh, he falls down. It's going to be about... If they say he wasn't touched, he's going to get about the first down. They're all calling it first down. So, they're going to call it about a 15-yard reception. They might review this to see if he was touched. If he was, they're not going to get too much, but we'll see. Orlando. Wow, they had 3 games under 8K. Is crazy. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. They're going to get about 8 yards in the carry. Really good rush right there. They can win out and still be out. I don't know for sure. No, I'm pretty sure if they win out, they do make the playoffs. I think if they win out, they do get in. I think that they're the team that controls their own destiny. Because if they win out based on tiebreakers, they'll make it. Because if you finish 6-4, you'll get in. If you're Birmingham, because of head-to-head. Ball snapped. They hand it off, and they get the first down. I believe they are winning it. Win out, and they get in. He was at Storm's playoff bound. Does make a difference for a small. Anyway, I'll think I would. I mean, again, the Guardians. There was still pretty bad numbers. I mean, the Orlando Storm. It is true they are a better team this year, but again, we have seen that like the Stallions, Arlington, Dallas, Frisco. Winning isn't always everything. I mean, even the Kings are still going to get good numbers while losing. Rush to the right, get to the 30. Cuts inside, gets... They might give him the first down. They're either going to call it a 9-yard rush or a 10-yard rush. All be 6-4. Maybe. Their 2-minute warning is going, so we will look this up while we are here. They're currently... Technically, I believe so. Who can they play? Who do they play in Week 10? Week 10, they play that team. Louisville, I believe, finishes with Dallas and Columbus. So, yes, I do believe they all can finish at 6-4. I think technically you could have... you technically could have a 3-way tie or a 4-way tie or 5-way tie at 6-4, I believe, but that would have to have DC pull off the comeback in this game, and then I think technically you could have that happen. No, you can't because Orlando would win. Percentage, win streak of 3. Schedule. Orlando Storm, DC. It's weird. Okay, so that's that number. Oh, I love seeing that. The Golden Knights prevail. Yeah, they prevailed. They won pretty easily, honestly. And BM still be at 6-4. Anthony Beck is the difference. Anthony Beck, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If he wins a playoff game, he loses the label. But if he loses the first round of the playoffs, he is a classic Anthony Beck. He is going to get you to the playoffs and get you beat in the playoffs. And Louisville tie favors Birmingham. Yeah, they really do need that tie with Louisville. I mean, it's weird. Like I said, I've said it. Louisville wins out, they're going to make it. Some way, somehow, they're going to make it if they win out. Someone's going to screw themselves over. DC is looking like the team that might do it, but we'll see. Again, one thing with Birmingham that's important to note is that Birmingham's last 2 games are probably the worst 2 games they could have. It's against Houston, a Kevin Sumlin Houston team, which is 2-1 against them all time. And it's against a team in Columbus that has all this experience in back-to-back games. The game is, it's good. It's okay. It's an okay game so far, I would say. It's a close game. DC has a shot. Spencer Sanders has been to watch, but it's a close game. The missed field goals made this a really tight battle. We'll see if DC can end this, though. They got 2 minutes to score a touchdown and go for 2, but the biggest issue is that where they are in the field, they might score too quick and give Orlando a shot to win. Pass is batted down, going to be 2nd and 10 for the defenders. Really, even second. If St. Louis loses on Sunday, the entire playoff field is going to be wide open. It really is. Imagine if Columbus wins. Oh my God. If Columbus, Dallas, and Houston wins, last week's going to be crazy. That's going to be a crazy final week. Yeah, they're showing Ben Brashnan. That's right there. 2nd and 10 for the DC defenders. 1 minute and 53 seconds left in the game, down by 8 with 1 timeout left. They got 2 seconds to snap this ball. They might be getting a false or a delay of game. And there's the flag. Delay of game on the DC defenders. Bro pulled a Luis Perez. Instead of snapping the ball, he just stood there. So it's going to be 2nd and 15 now for the defenders with 1 minute and 53 seconds left. Again, Orlando does have all 3 timeouts left and their challenge. So even if DC scores and ties the game, there is a very real shot that Orlando will be able to get the ball back and try to score something before overtime. We'll see if that's going to be needed, though, because DC could just lose the game right here if they don't get this. Yeah, I would have had no timeout. That second timeout was bad. Like I said, that first timeout was a good place to use it. The second one was a waste. Double down, it was stupid. They throw it to the right. Caught, goes out of bounds. About a 6-yard gain, 1 yard past the original line scrimmage. Still Spencer Sanders. They have not put in Jason Bean, so there's still Spencer Sanders in the game. Columbus gets eliminated with St. Louis lost Sunday. I do remember that, but mainly I'm saying that for the Birmingham loss, because if Birmingham loses that game, it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, that is a good point. Columbus is screwed. Like I said, Columbus is screwed. They literally need everything to go their way. They need every single game to go their way the rest of the season, pretty much. Sup, St. Brown. Got a good ending right now. Game has been but the ending is looking pretty good. 1 minute 50. DC's got 2 plays to gain 9 yards, and they do got to go for the touchdown. You can't just go for the field goal here in 4th and 12. You got to go for it. Ball is snapped. Rolling to his left. No flags. Throws it to the end zone. It is incomplete. 4th and 9. This is for all the marbles. This is essentially game over. We'll see if they can do this. They're kicking the field goal. Like, I guess I can understand it. Because, like, the whole reason you're doing this, if you make it, you go for the 4th and 12. But if you're going to convert a 4th and 12, just go for the 4th and 9. But I get it, because then if you score a touchdown, you obviously win the game. So, like, I can see it. It's just, I don't think this is the right decision. Because you're adding 3 yards for what you have to do. Like, you know what I mean? You have to score a touchdown no matter what. You're just making it 3 yards harder. And even if you convert it, you're now backing yourself up about 30 yards. He's got to make this kick. It would be hilarious if he misses. And it's good. I agree. That was R.I.P. Kyle Busch. It was. I mean, I had to put this in the background. It's gonna probably. I'm not gonna be the same image, but it's gonna be a similar thing on Sunday. Just terrible that with that whole news. Is this game the rematch next week? Yeah, because they're already kind of screwed against both of them. There's no way they can overtake them both. So they are lucky there. Those games don't matter because they didn't even win against either of them. So there's no strength of loss. So yeah. You've never watched a movie twice in theater? I've watched a couple. I think I saw Sonic 3 twice in theaters. I may have seen it. No, I saw it twice in theaters and once streaming. I think there's one other movie I've seen twice in theaters, but I don't know. I may have, but I don't remember for sure. Bart Andrews. That's a classic. Bart Andrews got to a championship. Not every coach can say that. Hey, Anthony Beck can't say that, but Bart Andrews can. Ray Horton can say that. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it earlier today, and I was talking about it earlier in stream before you joined Haunted. I would say Busch is NASCAR. Very good argument. He's the 4th or 5th best all time. It depends how exact, because if you do just purely Cup Series, it's a lot harder to make the case. But if you say NASCAR, he has the most wins ever in NASCAR, the most Truck Series wins ever, the most Xfinity, Monster, whatever you want to call it, Series wins ever, and he's top 10 in Cup Series wins. 3 total championships, 1 in Xfinity, 2 in the Cup Series. I'd say that, once you get past the big 3, the 3 guys with 7 titles, there's a good argument he's the next greatest ever. At least top 6. 4th and 12. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff, and he gets pressured. He evades the sack. 2 guys try to go miss. Deep throw to the right, and it's too high. It is incomplete. That is going to be game over because there's only 1 timeout left. Oh, that's basically game over. That's pretty much game right there. Orlando takes the loss. Orlando's going to take the W. I don't think even with the timeout there's enough to do it. He had a man open downfield, but he overthrew it. He was fully wide open. Nobody was even within like 5 yards of him, and he just wildly overthrew that pass. And it's pretty much over. I would say Busch. I would say of those guys, I'd probably put Busch 4. Again, if you're talking NASCAR, if you're talking Cup Series, a bit different. If you're talking NASCAR, I'd put him 4 in that list of those guys you just mentioned. If you're purely saying NASCAR, 1st and 10 for the Orlando Storm. Watch him get a touchdown. That'd be great. Garbage time touchdown for the win. Come on, it'd be funny. Ball snapped. They hand it off, and it's going to be taken down. Surely going to call a timeout. DC might not make plays. They might not. Let's just say it's not looking good for them. That's what I would say. It is not looking good for them right now. They are probably cooked. I mean, even if DC makes the playoffs, they're probably screwed. Yeah, I agree. Bean should start in week 10. You traded for him. You got to put him in. Because, if you don't... Our mid, we hating on the Truck Series. And the Xfinity. And they're going to kneel the ball. Oh, they did a fake knee. Oh, no, they just did it to use a couple more seconds. Honestly, smart play. And there's some fighting going on. And there's a flag. Waiting for that. Rogers versus Bean. Hey, that would be cool. I think it could happen. Yeah, technically could happen. I think it is possible that you get that as a 2 and 3 seed. Let's see what this flag is. If it's offsetting penalties, that does benefit. Ooh, it might be a 10-second runoff, but I don't know if it affects. We'll see what this is. Honestly, maybe because you lost both games at home. You lost 2 games at home. It's like I was saying, right? Everybody thought that it was going to be Carolina versus Colorado, and in the conference finals, they'd combine for 2 losses. It was supposed to be like a gentleman sweep in both series. The way Carolina got bitched yesterday, even with the rust argument, was really sketchy. And then with the Avalanche, you are now down 2-0, losing home ice. Yikes. It might be Vegas versus Montreal in the final. It really might be. We'll see if Makar ends up being like enough, but I really don't think he is enough single-handedly to save this team. But we'll see. You never know, but we'll see. Atlanta's going to kneel this ball, and they're probably going to call timeout and kick a field goal. It's probably what they should do. I kick the field goal. If you kick the field goal, you make it an 8-point game. That's probably the right call, is to kick the field goal here. I know you could punt it. I would go for the field goal. Because if you do punt it, both ways going to be a goal, you say. So 3 goals in the first quarter was over in game 1. I think they should have ran it. I guess they're, thinking, that like Miami a couple years ago when they ran it and they ended up, fumbling, but they did lose a couple of yards, so we'll see. Are they really punting this? Like, you're not going to get the ball. Remember, there's no coffin punts. So if you punt this, they're getting the ball back at the 25. So you're only actually like changing this field by about like 15 yards. You should be kicking the field goal here. It is still a very makeable field goal. If you make it, it's an 8-point game, and then you kick off naturally. You eat off even more clock. If you punt this, that is the wrong decision. I think that's Lance coming out there. Yes, correct decision is to kick the field goal. W decision. Now, I will say, if you had ran the ball instead of kneeling it, this would be about a 5-yard, closer kick. So if he misses it by a couple yards, that's on Coach Beck. Kick is up, and it's good. Nice kick. 27-19. Orlando has the lead. It is back to an 8-point game. DC, unless they fair catch it, they're going to have probably about 17 seconds, maybe 18 seconds to do something. But we'll see. Yeah, and the Thunder are going to win that game. Big sad, big sad. Talking about high five and everybody's saying. Right now, it's just Orlando. DC can still clinch if they have 2 specific games go their way. I believe it's if it's Birmingham loses and if Louisville wins, then they clinch a playoff spot. As for St. Louis, if they win, they clinch a playoff spot. I believe Birmingham needed DC to win this game, but I don't remember for sure. But Birmingham might have been able to, and that's about it in terms of clinching. Colorado hopefully lose the series. We'll see about those series. It'll be interesting to see if they can come back. The odds are that Carolina is a much higher shot because, they're only down 1-0 versus 2-0. We'll see. 25 seconds left. I want to see more people in that stadium playoffs. Yeah, I mean, if Orlando was able to have their best number of the year, their second best number of the year today, there's a very good shot the playoff game could be their best overall, which would be huge to see. That's why it would be awesome for them to officially, because, I mean, they win, they do clinch a spot. So, in theory, tickets should be on sale right after this game because they are able to clinch, but we'll see. It was Beck's job. Gotta love it. Only the UFL man. Hey, but you know what got 50 Cent? Orlando's been one of the most stable teams this season. Who would have guessed that? Honestly, yeah, I cannot believe it. Especially because they're like the roster that was the least stable. They changed their roster more than like any other team, and they still ended up being solid. Like they are nothing like the Brahmas from last year. Actual good return up to the 40, still going to the 45. Gonna be down to the 40 at the 46-yard line. Huge return. There's only 16 seconds left, but they got a good return. They're gonna be able to get like 2 real shots, depending what they want to do. They've got like 2 real shots to get a touchdown here. Yeah, I mean Orlando like barely. They only brought back like 6 guys in the initial like keeping system. Brought in this fully new quarterback room. This like fully new of like everything, and they ended up working. Props to them. It'll be interesting to see if Beck pulls a classic Anthony Beck moment and gets bounced in the first round of the playoffs, but we'll see. So this is borderline game. You've got 16 seconds left. DC really has about 2 plays to do something here. They've got to score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion. Orlando cannot foul. Don't want to do fouls because then you're going to add extra time, add extra plays or whatever. We'll see. Ball is snapped. It's a fumble. They're calling that a fumble on the field. It's recovered by Orlando. That's game over. They're probably going to review this to see if it was a forward pass. If it was, they're going to add about 3 seconds onto the clock. But if it's not, that is game over. Orlando wins. Huge sack fumble right there. Again, biggest... no, Mike Nolan, if he's going to coach the Panthers when they come back. That's the one that I think everybody pretty much agrees. He'll coach the Panthers if they come back. Hey, but you know what DC didn't run back? They didn't run back Mike DeLillo because they decided to trade him. And then he didn't end up playing at all. So they traded him for him to not play, and he could have played here, and instead they're watching Spencer Sanders play and Jason Bean ride the bench. Gotta love it. The only trade that worked out, and worked out for both teams, was Orlando-Birmingham. That trade worked out for both teams. Every other one of the trades has been terrible. Hell, this trade technically sucked for both teams, because both, technically, I don't even know, technically it still is better for Louisville, because they have a quarterback that, is their problem number 2, but yeah. Spencer, buddy, you better be on the bench next week, because if not, that is some really questionable coaching. Let's go over here. Let me see how close I was in this one, on game picks for this one. Do I have my first perfect in a while? Let's see, 44.5. So that should be over. Oh, yes, for the first time in weeks, I finally went 3 of 3. Oh, man. 3 of 3 to start the week. First 3 of 3 perfect betting game in like 5 weeks for me. That is finally, the streak is broken. I finally had a fully good game. I will take that. I had Orlando winning. I had him covering. I had him winning in a higher scoring game. I will take that big W. Kings are safe from elimination this week. DC said we don't trust beating on the slide. Yeah, crazy. So, again, next game we're streaming is Sunday's game. Sunday night's game on ESPN2. I'll be streaming that one, the Battlehawks versus the Gamblers. As for DC, you got to start beating next week. You traded DeLillo. You got to show that it was not a complete disaster to trade DeLillo away. If you decide to start Spencer Sanders next week, after the 2 games we've seen him play, and the DeLillo trade, and you lose next week, that is going to be one of the worst trades we've ever seen in spring football. That is going to be viewed as even worse than the Austin Reed trade, barring Perez wins the championship, and it's going to be viewed as the worst since the other Luis Perez trade with the Vipers. So it'll be interesting to see. It's rough, man. It's rough for DC right now. Again, DC still technically can clinch this week, and even next week. They can lose out and still clinch a playoff spot if everything goes their way. Like I said, there are still clinching scenarios tomorrow and the day after. Teams can get eliminated. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll see, but this is one more team that does not clinch this week. And Orlando, congratulations. Orlando has officially clinched a home playoff game. They officially clinched a top 2 seed. Now, they have not clinched the 1 seed. They need St. Louis to lose. If St. Louis loses on Sunday, Orlando clinches the 1 seed. As of now, though, they have clinched a home playoff game. So the Orlando Storm that have overall beaten the Orlando Guardians for attendance, both in average and overall numbers. Put in perspective, the Guardians had 3 games under 8K. This team had 1 game under 9K. So, huge for Orlando, huge for the market. Bad for DC. Next game is in DC next week between these 2 teams. We'll see how that goes. The 1 seed, not really. It's only about you play the 4 seed, which, like I said, normally is a big deal in a league like this. But this year, it's not really. Because hell, the 4 seed might honestly be worse to play than the 3 seed. But they do clinch home field advantage in the first game. So they do have that. Big win for them. They're showing the standings right now. Again, it's a huge win for them. Depending how this week goes, we could literally have a 4-way tie at 5-4. That is entirely possible depending on if St. Louis loses and if Birmingham and Louisville wins. We could have a 4-way tie at 5-4, which would create some real awkward stuff. Like I said, Columbus and Houston, they're cooked. Well, mainly Columbus, but Houston might be if they don't pull off the win. But we'll see. Again, thank you guys for being here. If you enjoyed this stream, like it, subscribe, think about becoming a member. And as always, guys, have a great night. And like I said, I'll see you guys on Sunday for that one. See you guys.